20, and then Sunday looks like early flurries, then partly sunny and a high of -4. Currently in downtown Regina, overcast sky, it's -15, but with the wind, it feels like -25.
B&A Petroleum is a Southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs, with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. R&P Winter Tire Offer is on now. Purchase a set of 4 eligible winter tires before December 31st and receive up to $120 in instant rebates. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Wednesday's Sports Cage. Thanks for tuning in. Whether you're watching through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com, maybe you're listening on any of the audio streams out there, or, of course, the meat and potatoes, 620 CKRM. Colson's with me today as we navigate through this Wednesday for Regina Motor Products that offer right now on winter tires. Purchase a set of 4 before December 31st and receive $120 back in instant rebates. Probably a good thing. I'm sure a lot of you seen people drive out there and trying to navigate with the rain or whatever we had and the freezing. Now it's going to get really cold. You need some sort of winter tires. It's just how it is. Is it ever going to become mandated? Isn't it mandated in BC or different parts of the BC or different parts of mountains or something like that where you have to have winter tires? Because at Quebec?
Both. You got both of them.
Yeah, nailed them both.
Yeah. BC, I know it's a certain part of the year. You need, I believe it's mud and snow tires, they call them, or mountain and snow tires. And Quebec, it might also be a certain part of the year, or it's the whole year.
Yeah. Wow. It's interesting. I wonder if the Quebec, do we send them anything? Do we supplement? No. It's 3 hours for you today. You never know where we're going to go here. We have Luke Mullinder. We haven't talked to Luke since the Grey Cup. We have some questions for Luke. Then we're obviously talk about current affairs with the Riders and the CFL. We're going to get into other football as well when we got Mr. Mullinder on. So that's at about 3:15 coming up here. Also, the big Mandy Schwartz Memorial Tournament starting in communities around Regina and around Wilcox, Saskatchewan. Tomorrow, we're going to talk to Wade Klippenstein from Notre Dame on that tournament. Tommy Stevens, 2-year deal, Tommy, with the Riders. He's going to start hour 2. Lots to talk to. But Tommy likes to get into NFL and college ball as well. Our clutch performer, it will not be the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to have Sprinkle of the Day. Senior Hockey Wednesday, Senior Hockey Report coming up in hour 2. Hour 3, we go sideways with Eric Francis, our NHL insider. Never know where it's going to go from there. And at some point today, we have some winning. The first thing we have on the docket, it might be the only thing, it might not. We'll figure out a way to give these out, Colson. 2 tickets to the Harlem Globetrotters. Have you ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters?
In person, no.
You watch them on TV?
I've seen clips of them.
Yeah, clips. It's been, I would say, over 35 years since I watched the Globetrotters do their thing up in Saskatoon. The question, and I asked Nick in the back and Tegan from promotions, they said, you want to give away some Harlem Globetrotter tickets today? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Actually, my daughter saw the sign and was like, Harlem Globetrotters, we should go to that, Dad. I think she thinks it's actually just an actual basketball game. Like, they're not performers. So I'm like, maybe. I've always wondered this. And if anybody out there in Sportscage land knows, 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line. You can communicate all day with us. If you want to just chat about the Riders, chat about hockey, chat about music, pop culture, fire away. Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street. They can rent you almost anything you need for that winter job, like a heater, and then they are your Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. I want to know, this could be a dumb question, of course, you could probably find it on Google, although I don't trust Google after yesterday and the John Lennon thing and all that. But do they travel with the court? Do they bring their own court? And then do they have to set it up?
I don't think the players have to set it up. I would say that. They probably have a crew, and they would probably have their own court. Because you've seen those time-lapse videos of when they turn ice hockey and basketball.
Clicks together. It's like Lego.
So I would expect they have their own court, and they just bring it, because that's probably easiest.
Yeah, well, because unless I don't know, I've been in the bowels of the Brandt Center, been in the bowels of Sask Place lots in Saskatoon. I just don't remember seeing a bunch of wood stacked up on each other unless it's old pallets. It's quite possible.
I mean, it'd probably be in and out pretty quick, though. Unless they have a second court they send ahead of time to make.
See?
Which
I don't know if that's that big of an operation, though, anymore. The Globetrotters.
It's pretty quick and efficient how quickly they can move those trucks in and out. So
they might get the players to click things together at some point. It's just always one thing that I've always been like, they travel with the court. Do they put it together themselves? You know, some guys, maybe the rookies, the younger guys on the team. And then there's some interesting stats I can get into later about the Globetrotters and how many games they've actually lost. We'll do that later when we give away the tickets. It's actually quite comical. Interesting. All of our guests are going to join us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. If you're looking for a last-minute gift idea, a stocking stuffer, maybe something for that gift exchange, Western Pizza gift card. Perfect. And then also if you're getting the potluck soiree going, maybe grab a wheel or anything from Western Pizza, take it to that Western Pizza guest hotline. We will have a number of guests today, like I said. The other thing, too, on the text line yesterday, I didn't get to some of these. I apologize. It was fast and furious with Craig Reynolds on and great interview and all that, is people are quite happy with the Rider schedule and how things look. There's, you're never going to please everybody with different things in life. Just like doing a show. There's just some people that ain't going to like it. And some people are looking at the schedule going, well, we should have done this. Or, well, we should. And I think that a lot of people off the hop would have liked the rematch with Montreal. Mm-hmm. It's not really a thing. I don't know when the last time the CFL did that. Is that a popular thing? I don't know, but
I know for a fact they did it in 2010 because it was the rematch from 2009.
It's a long time ago, bro.
Yeah. I'm just saying I know for a fact because that was the SJ Green catch where his elbow just stayed in the end zone. I know that's when that happened. And I believe it also happened Winnipeg and Montreal. One of these last few years, they did a rematch to open the season. But when we had Craig on yesterday, I think he said this draft was out right before or right after the Grey Cup.
Yeah, he did. He did that was an interesting nugget.
Yeah, so it's like they're literally in the last weeks of the season getting this together. They don't know who's in the cup yet. So
makes sense.
That might be a really hard thing to do in the future if that's how quickly they're going to get the schedule out. Or are you just leaving the first week up to chance?
I'm playing the odds. I like that. I think if I dug into it more and really wanted to, I could find something I don't like. I'm not going to say I don't like the back-to-backs with Montreal. It could end up being awesome, and then the Riders get to play there on Thanksgiving Monday, and Craig said that's a huge deal, and it's pretty cool. But I just think that was odd. Other than that, and I know for some people it's more days of the week, especially people that are traveling. And then you got to factor in seating. Just like later in the year, you got to factor in harvest. So, from my point of view, like a 5 o'clock Saturday game, if you're driving in from out of town, their data shows that's great. Now, Friday, 7 p.m., June 26th, Toronto's in town. Probably almost guaranteed good weather. Maybe it could be volatile weather.
That's technically Toronto's home game, that one.
Yeah, that's
that one.
I love that too. We're going to look back on this weird year and be like, and remember, someone that's doing the Sports Cage in 10, 15, 20 years from now, it'll be a trivia question from Pump Jacks Cathedral Trivia. It's like, when did the Toronto Argonauts play a home game in Regina? Then Hamilton, we see BC, Toronto, and Hamilton in the first month of the season. Then Edmonton, Ottawa, Toronto, Winnipeg. Obviously, Labor Day, and Calgary, Montreal, Edmonton. So, to me, it's the schedule. I think when we talked to Tommy Stevens in hour 2, that's where it's like, okay, what about the players? Like obviously, you'd look at rest, travel. 3 Down Nation had that not happy. Calgary's not happy with the way their schedule plays out, or some people are bitching and complaining a bit out in Calgary. Stampede Bowl returns though out there. I know that was a question some people had.
This is a graphic I found from my CFL Stats Geek guy with travel. Edmonton and Montreal over 29,000 kilometers of travel. Winnipeg just 17, which Winnipeg's in the middle, so that makes sense to me. But I'm surprised Edmonton beat out Montreal and BC. Yeah.
Very interesting. And then Craig Reynolds yesterday in our chat, we're waiting for Luke Mullinder here, and I know we're going to get to that. Do you have the clip, the merchandise clip? This was, I thought about this kind of all night, and I'm like, wow, what a stat. Play it.
It's been nuts. So I'll give you a little fact. On the Monday after the Grey Cup, so we went on the 16th, so it's Monday the 17th. We were selling a championship hat either in store here or at Saskatoon or online. One hat every 12 seconds. So that's what we were moving the Monday afterwards, and it really hasn't slowed down.
My.
Like I was in there on Sunday picking up a couple things for Christmas, and I couldn't believe it. I was there shortly after opening. It was just packed. So it's one of those situations, and we saw this when we launched the Obsidian. They'd literally be taking stuff out of the boxes. Fans would be grabbing it. The same thing are happening right now with some champ merchandise, where they're literally trying to unpack, and fans are just literally grabbing it and heading to the till.
Right,
so it's been outstanding. And we actually thought the Obsidian line might slow down this year because it was launched last year. Hasn't been the case. Like it's just continued to go guns a-blazing, and so yeah, we're already ahead of last year's merchandise sales, which were the strongest we've had since our centennial, I think. So it's been outstanding.
12 a hat every 12 seconds. Like that is a fantastic stat, and I've seen a lot of people with them. So yeah, we'll revisit a couple of clips from that. Also the ticket one that he mentioned and where tickets are. And I'm wondering after the schedule was released yesterday, nice and early, if tickets will increase. We'll keep the Rider talk going. We'll keep the football talk going. Let's go to break. When we come back, color commentator on our Rough Rider broadcast. It's been a few weeks since he's been on. We've let him recover. Luke Mullinder will join us here on the Sports Cage.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. One full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
All right, let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline and joined by Luke Mullinder, Western Pizza. If you need a gift card that season, or if anyone owes you a bet, now's a good time to visit your local Western Pizza. Luke, how are you doing? Have you recovered? Are things good with Mr. Mullinder?
Oh man, everything's lovely, man. How are you doing? You know, well, everything actually isn't good. I was celebrating the Grey Cup, you know, a couple weeks ago, and I got some mail here today and found out I got 2 speeding tickets. Those cameras are getting me, man. I gotta slow down.
Local or in Manitoba?
Local.
Yeah,
they got me.
What's the buffer there? And then what should be the buffer? Like, did they let you go like 4 kilometers? I get school zones. I'm not talking school zones. School zones, and they can be sneaky as well. But let's say we're on Ring Road and it's 100. If you're going 104, are they still throwing it to you?
No, I think that if you keep it under 110, I think you're good. My problem here is they allegedly, because I'm challenging this, allegedly was going 118. But we gotta look at that though.
Yeah, well, you quit driving those hot rods.
Anyways,
you know, yeah.
Anyway, and life is good though, brother. Life is good. The Riders are champs. What else could be wrong?
What stands out for you as a guy that's been there, but in the broadcast booth, and there's been some years, and we've been grinding, and then we go to Winnipeg, and we're finally there. We're finally back, and we're in Winnipeg Stadium, and it all comes together, and they win it. What's going to stand out for you, Luke? Is it part of the game? Is it during the game? Is it after? Maybe it's the party around after, you and Dave. What's going to stand out for you?
I think what's going to stand out with me is how just elated those guys were. Obviously, I was privileged to sit and hang out on the field after and hang out in their locker room and go to the team party. But man, just seeing those guys celebrating with their teammates, with their families, it brought back obviously a lot of memories, you know, and you don't win them all, right? Like you can play for 2 years, you can play for 20 years. Some guys never win one, some guys win a ton of them, right? And unfortunately, there's some things that you just don't control in this game. But to watch those guys celebrate as a team, it was awesome. And you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of thoughts about the season that just passed. I've had one thought moving forward, though, as free agency started and they've started going through their free agent signings. Obviously, you know, Barney, they probably got a lot of guys signed already. They'll just release it, periodically. But I'll tell you what, man, I got a feeling that this could be a run for the Riders. You know, in 2007, we won. We went back to 2 Grey Cups after 9 and 10. Obviously, weren't successful there. I felt that the 2008 team was probably a little bit better than the 2007 team. Same with 2013. You know, they they won it after there. I got to see that because that was the first time I was retired and starting to sort of get acclimated with the media side. And the 2014, if Doubles doesn't get hurt in that season, they might mess around and win back-to-back cups there. This next year coming up, though, I really feel like they've got a good shot at going back-to-back. But more importantly, I feel like this Rider team, with the way Trevor Harris plays specifically and sort of the intent that they have on protecting the quarterback and the way their offense is rolled out, I could see them going on a little bit of a run. And that I think should excite a lot of people in Rider Nation. This isn't just a one-and-done deal, I don't think. I don't think they're going to be waiting for another 12 years in Rider Nation.
Who would you be shocked if they don't come back?
Well, who would I be shocked with? I'd be shocked if A.J. Ouellette wasn't back. Geez, there's a lot of guys that I would be. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When you talk about shock, you got to remember that it's a lot of the things, like some players want to come back and the money's not there, right? Some guys, right? Some teams just think there's somebody better out there. Some teams just want to develop the guy that was behind a certain player. There's all sorts. I'm not really shocked. I'm not ever shocked. I'd be surprised though if A.J. Ouellette wasn't back. And again, you're talking to a guy who was on vacation in Mexico when he found out that we just traded the most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League to Toronto after we won a Grey Cup with them. So nothing's going to shock me here in this offseason, brother.
Harris contract, he's back in. Tommy Stevens, who we're going to have on the show, signs a 2-year deal. Where do you see Jake Maier? Where do you see Cone? What do you see there?
I hope all four of those guys are back. I think that they've got a great relationship. I think that, Cone needs to continue to develop, needs to understand that some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL or CFL are guys that sat for 3 or 4 seasons, right? You don't always get the guys that come in and are starting right away. Some of the best quarterbacks in this league have sat 3 or 4 seasons before they've gotten rolling. So it's all in what you make of the opportunity that you have in front of you. I think Maier was incredible when he was playing. He was exactly what the Riders needed. They needed a quarterback to spell Trevor Harris if he wasn't there for a couple games. And again, I think Trevor Harris played outstanding football. So if you get that entire room back, you've got Tim Tebow essentially in Florida with your short yardage situation there, man. Tommy Stevens is unreal, almost unstoppable in that situation. And I think that Rider Nation really got a feel for how important those downs are when we started rolling them consistently this year. So it was nice to see that. And so I'm really hoping that they could bring all 4 of those guys back.
So we have Hardrick, we have Alberto Wachi. Obviously, Hardrick was a big one, and some people are
huge.
Some people were thinking, AJ's the next. Maybe it's a receiver, all that. Do you have a gut feeling, and just going straight off gut, who the next? And like you talked about, some of these guys are probably already signed, and they're going to stagger them out there. But do you have a gut feeling on who the next big name is to put ink to paper?
No, actually, I don't. I have no clue. And the reason why I don't have a clue, though, is not – I just think that Jeremy O'Day has done a really good job bringing guys in, getting them set on the roster. But I think that there's a ton of questions that they have to answer. And they're all good questions, right? You got Tommy Nield, who came in and had an unbelievable season. What do you do with a guy like Kean Schaefer-Baker, for instance, who has proven that when he has the ball and when he's on the field, he's awesome, but has had a little bit of an injury concern over the past couple years, right? I think that they've got some decisions, and there's only so much money that can be spun around, right? And you also have to recognize that you're going to have some questions about your defensive side of the ball too. It's not just the offense that this team needs to be focused on. But my beliefs, as far as being a couch GM like the rest of Rider Nation gets to be right now, is you bring back your core guys and you bring back you just build in the trenches. And I think that the good thing about the trenches is that Jeremy O'Day has managed to find some great players. And so you're if you lose a couple to the NFL or or other free agency, I think that you can trust in him to bring guys in on the line of scrimmage that are going to get the job done. And especially if Edwin Harrison continues his tenure here as offensive line coach, he's probably the most underrated coach in this whole league.
A lot of people are obviously wondering about Samuel MLS. Phil Pott signs in Montreal. No getting paid there. Hatcher's getting paid out in BC. A lot are expecting Sam MLS will get paid here with the Riders. If that happens, do you think that affects the rest of the receivers like you mentioned, or are they going to try and work hard to bring them all back?
Yeah, well, you always want, especially after you win a Grey Cup, right? You always want the entire team back. It's just not realistic. Every team's different from year to year. I think that if you look at Sam, he brings a toughness to the team as well. So I would obviously prioritize him and go from there. You got to remember, too, that as many free agents as the Riders have, other teams have equally as many free agents, right? So there's not going to be a ton of money to move around. But, again, the nice thing is we've drafted well here over the last few years. I think that there's some players here that they're really excited about that are a little bit younger. So you've got a good spread. You got some balance there to work with. But, again, I think that obviously, if there's a guy to prioritize in that whole room, it is MLS, and then you go from there.
Seth Hundeby signs. I think a lot of us expected that to happen. Your boy, Scott Schultz, was on the next day. We were at Agribition, and he was just like, okay, well, I'm interested to see on where he plays with his frame and how big he is and Canadian and all that. And are they going to try and move him around and all that? What do you think on Hundeby? Is it too early to maybe see where he fits in and what he can do long-term here for this team?
I think Hundeby is going to be a good special teamer. I think that if he wants to make the Riders in 2026, that's where he needs to start. Obviously, we've got a guy like Lakecourt Taymor who's had his injury issues, Charbel DeBeer, another Canadian. I thought Ali Saad had a great rookie year. They should be really excited about the things that Ali brings. So, again, Hundeby, I look at as a potential special teamer. That's where, and that's not anything to shake. You look at the contribution that Nick Weeb from the University of Saskatchewan gave us this year. He was fantastic, and he was a special teamer, right? So right now it's just where you get your opportunity. And I think Hundeby's got a chance to make the team. It'll probably be on special teams, but that's not to say that there's no roster spot for him on that defensive front. But again, there's some guys that they're going to have to prioritize. Like, look at the season Scoop Carney, for instance, had, right? You're going to want to make sure he's back in the green and white. Micah gave you really no reason to doubt just sort of where he is in terms of playing ability. So again, there's going to be there aren't going to be too many availabilities on that defensive side of the ball, I think.
Schedules released yesterday. That was exciting. We didn't have to wait too long. It's at the normal time, early December. What jumps out at you with the Rider schedule?
Well, not a lot of Thursday games, which is good for the folks that travel in this province, right? I think that for this province, I've one of the things that I appreciate so much about the fan base is how far they're willing to come to go to a game in Saskatchewan, right? So anytime you don't get a ton of Thursday games, you're in a good spot. Outside of that, I think that the biggest game is the first game, and the reason why that is because you get to raise another banner, and I say that lightly, man, because we haven't raised a ton of banners here in Rider Nation, right? So the fifth banner getting stuck up on the wall, that's a massive deal, man. And so folks, hopefully the Riders can sell that game out, because really that puts a stamp on the year 2025 and marks the beginning of the journey in 2026, right? So I love the fact that they go to BC a couple times, selfishly, but outside of that, man, let's just go play some football, right? It's a control what you can control deal, and I think that the folks that, I saw a lot of moaning about the schedule, and I get it, right? Like, you want your team to have a great schedule. I thought last year's schedule was probably the best schedule possible for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but again, folks got to realize, like, stadium availability, hotel availability, the people that are scheduling these things, they're not just sitting at home in their basement, picking from a hat, right? Like, they've got to go and they've got to actually see what the venue's like and what's available. So,
TSN.
There's a lot that goes into these. There's a lot to go there. Everybody wants their team to have the best schedule, no doubt, right?
So you kind of slipped in there because I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite road city as a broadcaster now? Is it Van City, Vancouver? You like going there? Nice little couple nice spots to eat, or what's your favorite?
Well, no, Vancouver, because I'm going to go golfing in Whistler either before or after the Riders go. So now we've got a good little, so you got either an August date or you've got a September date, and there's advantages to both. August, beautiful weather, but September, the guys that I'm going golfing with, they actually said like, hey, we might want to consider that September date because the crowds aren't as big, right? And the weather's just perfect for golf, apparently. So I got some big decisions to make, but honestly, my favorite road trip. Wow, that's a great question. I actually think it probably is. Wow, it's probably still
Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Well, Winnipeg I'm used to now because obviously of my role with the Red Cross, right? And I'm not allowed. And the worst part is I can't say anything bad about Winnipeg anymore, right? I got right, and big shouts to Wade Miller there. He helped the Red Cross out a ton. So the last thing I'm gonna do is slander Winnipeg from this point on. But yeah, BC might be my favorite as a broadcaster, man. I love going there. There's always a good game, and seeing the boys on their broadcast crew, Moj and Caravata, that's always a treat. So it probably is BC.
I was actually eyeballing that game in Montreal personally, and if that happens, you maybe take the sticks and we can play some golf in Montreal. There's some. I know a guy. I know a guy.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, let me know. And we'll get Dave Thomas to bring his golf clubs. But I'll tell you, man. With the Riders winning the Grey Cup, I know that I was really there's one guy I was really happy for. It was Dave Thomas. I felt like he did such a good job, worked so hard. But more importantly, man, it was really nice you could tell how much he was just a fan of the moment, throughout the year. But more importantly, too, you could tell how much he was really taken back by the fact that we get to come along for the first time in my broadcasting career, for sure, and get to call a Grey Cup season. So it was pretty cool. I was happy for Dave. But yeah, he's a hard worker, man. So I don't think he's going to come with us schleps to golf on the road.
Never know. Okay, Colson's actually been waiting to ask you a question here.
So,
Colson's. Damn it.
Thanks, Luke. So we had Rob Vanstone on shortly after winning the Cup, and he talked about right after the Riders won, you basically picked him up in a bear hug and celebrating. Can you tell your side of this story?
Yeah. Damn right, man. Look, I was happy for Vanstone, man. This guy is a legend in Saskatchewan, but more importantly, he's one of the most respected respected media members in the Canadian Football League, just across the league. And again, it's a Saskatchewan thing. I know how much it meant to him to be part of the team this year, man. So just so you know, so I had to very quickly. Dave and I were in the press box during the Grey Cup, and when the first play when Marcus Sayles intercepted the football, I celebrated. I was like, yeah! And I started getting pumped up. And then I realized that I was the only one in there. And I realized that even the guys from Saskatchewan were being professional at that point. And it was like you had to act a certain way in the press box and stuff. And I wasn't comfortable with it because I wasn't there as a broadcaster that day. I was there pulling for the green and white. So the nice part is what Vanstone's talking about is we went downstairs about 3 minutes before the game was over so you could go onto the field after the game, and I walked in the room and Vanstone was already there, and you could see, because this was at the time where Montreal was driving the ball, and you could see the concern on Vanstone's face, man. And then once Patterson fumbled it, I turned around immediately and looked at him, and then when the clock wound down, man, I couldn't help but give him a chest bump and a hug, man, because he was so relieved. And I remember he said, Mullinder, you almost broke my shoulder, and I was like, my bad. You're just gonna have to deal with it. That's how you celebrate when you're a champion, Vanstone, and you're a champion,
Oh, the big bear hug. I love it. Hey, there's a lot of talk about next year, maybe, hopefully, that we're gonna taste a little tailgate here. We're gonna get a chance to tailgate in Rider Nation. I wanted to ask you, as a guy that's played some good college football, I'm sure you traveled around. Where's your favorite tailgate that you've been to, Luke?
Well, I was so my favorite tailgate. I really enjoyed the Detroit Lions tailgate experience. That's always a good time. And they do it well over there. But nothing compares to East Lansing. I got hurt a lot in college, so there were the times where I wasn't on the playing roster and wasn't dressed. Man, I was out there tailgating with with the fans, and nothing beats an East Lansing tailgate, man. I tell you what, those trailers start pulling in about 6 a.m. and as soon as they park, the bottles pop. So it's a great time. You got to pace yourself, though. See, the one thing I know about tailgating, and I learned really quick, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, you know. And as fun as it is, you got to really control yours because you don't want to be the guy passed out in the second quarter, especially these days in social media. They got you on camera. They're drawing on your face, right? So, I learned from the best, man. But, the Detroit Lions, they have a great tailgating experience. One day when the Dallas Cowboys are finally a serious club, I'll go down there and take in a tailgating experience there, too.
I've tailgated outside of AT&T. No, I'm at Texas, right? People are so friendly. They're nice everywhere. It's like the college games there as well. Can I ask
just imagine the beef ribs that are just floating around there.
Brisket. Yeah, they just love their barbecue. Could I ask you some NFL stuff here before you go?
Yeah, it was good.
Cowboys, are they cooked, though? Are they, lack of a better term?
Yeah, of course they're cooked. Oh, we're cooked. Yeah.
Are the Chiefs?
We're not making the play. Hey, listen, I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I really enjoyed watching the Cowboys this year, but actually, as a real Cowboys fan, it actually works that the Cowboys are cooked. And here's why. Because if we had made the playoffs, every one of us would have had to be like, Jerry Jones knew what he was doing after all. And we know that he doesn't. Like, we know that he doesn't know what he's doing. So it kind of works that we're not going to make the playoffs because now we don't have to admit that Jerry had a plan. So hopefully we continue building, though. We got some good things, but again, like your Chiefs are cooked, though, for sure.
Not mine.
And I saw your text message.
Whoa, I'm not a Chiefs guy. I'm not a Chiefs. Whoa. I'm asking if the Chiefs are cooked.
Oh, yeah, they're done. They're going to lose this weekend, too. They got the Chargers this weekend. The Chargers are going to take the spread on the Chargers. Whatever points they're giving the Chargers, take that.
Their secondary is good.
All of a sudden, let me guess, Barney. All of a sudden, you're a Patriots fan again.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. It's amazing. Haven't heard from any Patriots fans except my boy Tyler Gross for 6 years. And all of a sudden now, the Patriots bandwagon is locked and loaded. And I'm seeing all these season ticket holders coming out of the woodwork.
It's been 3 years. Some of the shirts are a little tight.
It's been.
Some of the shirts are a little tight.
I haven't heard any. I wasn't hearing anybody claiming the New England Patriots 2 years ago. That's for sure. Except my buddy Tyler. That's it.
Okay, let's close.
All you fair weather fans.
Oh, settle down. Okay, let's close. Let's close on this. It's not his age. I think at 44, guys can still sling it. Tom Brady did it. Brett Favre did it. I think guys can do it. But 5 years away from professional football, do you honestly think Phillip Rivers might play, or is he just there to kind of be another coach, to be a guy helping?
Oh, man, right now he needs to be a coach, and they need to pray that they got someone else, because I seen him in the press conference. It looked like me up there. He just came from the buffet. It looked like me. I don't know what he's going to look like in a uniform, but he looked like me. And you're not supposed to look like me if you're a quarterback. So I think that the Colts are in trouble, man. The fact that they went and got Phillip Rivers, and of course they're going to spin it all while he knows the offense of Shane Steichen and blah. Dude, he hasn't played in 5 years. They may as well have rolled out Kaepernick. That would have got a little bit more media attention.
Oh, of course. Of course that narrative had to come out, right? Kaepernick. It's like, oh boy. But I was looking. Please. I was looking, Luke. He's 44. I mentioned this yesterday. You know who's pretty close age-wise? And a guy that hasn't played in a long time? Michael Vick. Tony Romo is only 45. Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy that's played everywhere. He's only been out of the league 2 years. He's only 43. I'm like, Phillip Rivers? I was like, I thought there was... That's weird.
Look, man. The NFL is no country for old men. This is a young man's game. All these... Don't talk like that. Don't promote that because someone's gonna get hurt. Like someone's gonna get hurt. Phillip Rivers, if he's got to play, he's gonna get hurt, and he's got as many kids as John Chick. Like they can't afford to have him out of the rotation as far as parental support.
He's a grandpa.
Like
he's
he
a
needs
grandpa.
to be present for his family.
His daughter.
Right. He's a grandpa.
He's a
44
grandpa.
years old and he's a grandpa. Come on, man. Cut it out.
We got to watch that play out. All right. Thanks for taking time today. Always appreciate your insight and candidness. And we got to do Western Pizza. We should do Western Pizza when the Patriots are playing.
Actually, yeah. Check out my text. I'm gonna send you a text. Let's set that up.
Okay. See you, bud.
All right.
There he is. Color commentator, Rider broadcast. All around great guy, Luke Cowboys fan. All around great guy, Luke Mullinder, joining us here on the Sports Cage. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
It's home reno season, and with that Regina wind chill, you're better off renovating than relocating. Stay productive with a little help from Freeze Tallman. From drywall and molding to installation and interior doors, they've got everything you need to renovate your space. Freeze Tallman's delivery team can also deliver right to your home if you live in Regina, Fort Capel, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Freeze Tallman's got you covered this reno season. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
When it comes to your financial future, do you know where you're headed or what happens when you retire? That's where Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, and the team at GP Financial Services and Oviso Wealth come in. They offer independent, local advice, smart client-focused planning for every stage of life. Visit gpfinancial.ca. Your family, your plan. With Chad Reach, 306-584-2755.
Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Oviso Wealth, a division of Oviso Financial Inc.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. Saskatchewan, it's time to talk sports. Sportscage is on the air. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. And we're always online at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the show here on this Wednesday. It's for Regina Motor Products. You need winter tires, and now's a good time to buy. Buy a set of 4 before December 31st. Receive 120 in instant rebates. I wanted to go look up that Phillip Rivers press conference that Luke's talking about now. I got to find it here because that sounds funny. He doesn't look that bad, Luke. I don't know. Maybe focus in on a little bit more. More football talk coming up in hour 2 with Tommy Stevens. Let's go out in the Western Pizza guest hotline. If you need a stocking stuffer, gift exchange, maybe you're hosting something in the potluck, Western Pizza is your place. Joining us from Notre Dame, Wade Klippenstein. Big weekend, Wade, going on. Starts tomorrow, the Mandy Schwartz Memorial Tournament. Tell me, first off, about the changes this year to the tournament.
Yeah, it's some exciting news with this event. We've added a U15 division. I think a lot of people know we added the U15 team this year that competes in the Saskatchewan U15 AA League. So we've expanded the tournament from 16 teams to 24 with the additional 8 teams on the U15 side, and we've also expanded into a third community. So the event will be in Wilcox, Avonlea, and Milestone. So lots of hockey in this area, and lots of teams from all over Western Canada are in Wilcox, Avonlea, and Milestone this weekend.
Obviously, with what you guys are doing there in Notre Dame and then just the expansion of the tournament, I see it, having a daughter in the U13 division here. Female hockey's in a pretty good place.
Yeah, I think it's captured the biggest growth in hockey anywhere in Canada for a long time. And I think the exposure the PWHL has now for going from 6 teams to 8 teams and the success you see all over the media with that league is really, I think, excited that side of the game. But female hockey's been around in Saskatchewan for a long time. You hear of a female senior league now in Saskatchewan that's getting a lot of traction. So it's never been a better time to be a female hockey player. Here at Notre Dame, our programming is still underrepresented on the female side, so we're continuing to try to grow that and adding this third team this year, and there's some talk of a fourth team next year. So it's time for us to catch up in that space. But again, it's a great time to be a female player and a lot of opportunity ahead.
The tournament itself, I was there last year watching some really, really good hockey on the U18 side. Like this is, I don't want to say the best of the best, but if you want to go watch some see where female hockey is at that level, because the scouts are in tow too, right? Like I saw last year, I remember just scouts from a lot of colleges there taking this all in.
Yeah, it's a huge event in that space as well. We have already 20, universities or colleges committed to the event. Some big schools from the U.S. and Canada. So it's a great opportunity for exposure moving forward. Some post-secondary opportunities. I don't know if it's the biggest tournament. We say it is because we don't know of a one that's bigger. I'm sure someone can let me know if there is, but it's hard to get into this event, especially on the U18 AAA side. We probably field between 35 and 40 applicants, and we wait for the season to unfold, and we see what the top teams are, and that's the teams that get in. So it's a hard, competitive tournament. Sometimes the home team does really well, and sometimes they got their work cut out for them. And the latter might be the story this year, but we did not change the format. We have the absolute best teams that apply to this event, and if you're looking to see some high-caliber hockey, this is a great place to be this weekend.
Okay, maybe handicap it. I'm very curious now. Handicap it here on that U18 side. Who are some of the shooters that are coming in?
Well, you know what? It's interesting. Like it's where the sports school teams get tested by the Saskatchewan teams, and it's a rare occasion this happens. And there's a lot of opinions out there on what's the top league in Western Canada, and a lot of top athletes in Saskatchewan choose to stay in Saskatchewan because the hockey is so good in this province. Mm-hmm. So there is some teams that could clash. Last year, we ended up with an all-sports school league final. I don't anticipate that this year. Last year, Saha and Shawnigan Lake met in the final in a tremendous hockey game. But there's some good teams. The Saskatoon Stars are a team coming in with a lot of hype. Looking at some of the other teams, St. Albert, Slash, there's some great names too, by the way, but the Winnipeg Avros. So it's a really good field, and honestly, we spent a lot of time on this in our office selecting the top teams to make this the best event we can.
Schedule's available. I'm looking at it as well. You can navigate through the Notre Dame website, but Mandy Schwartz Memorial Tournament.com is where you'll find it. Last thing I want to talk about, you talked about just female hockey in Saskatchewan, but I get to follow you and kind of check out what you're doing out there, and you're really waving the flag for Notre Dame. A lot of stuff in, I think it was Japan or in Asia, right? Where what's the hockey like there? Obviously, there's players, there's so many people, but just what can you tell us about hockey there, especially on the female side?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I have been afforded a lot of tremendous travel opportunity through the game of hockey. My NHL days, I went the other way. I went to Europe quite a bit, but in my time here at Notre Dame, I've been to Japan 4 times, South Korea, China, Thailand, all countries that have some good hockey players. Maybe not the volumes you see in North America, but on the female side, countries like Japan have a great female program, well established. Often get to the top pool in the Olympics and can compete maybe with the second half of the top pool. Mm. So there's a lot of opportunity. People are looking for boarding schools that have hockey, and in that part of the world, it's just not a thing. So when we go over there, they're excited about the opportunity, and we have more and more student athletes from Asia coming to Wilcox, Saskatchewan.
That's super interesting to see what's happening there and just the cycle and how it's going. I guess lastly, I got to maybe ask you about your former employer, Colorado Avalanche, what a buzzsaw they are this year. You must be keeping tabs on them.
It's an easy team to follow and cheer for. They've had a tremendous start to their season. They've been, knock on wood, very healthy so far. The biggest challenge, I think, for some of the top teams will be the Olympic Games if that ends up happening, and they could have as many as 6 guys in the Olympics in a very competitive event in the middle of their season. And as well as have they done, they're only 2 points ahead of Dallas. You go, I think they got 2 regulation losses in 20-some games, and you look at the standings, and there's the Dallas Stars right underneath them. So it's a very competitive league with 2 seasons. And being healthy when that second season starts and having access to your top players and not trading away any of your top guys can be a real game changer. So we'll see, but what a start for the Avs. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We're going to be keeping tabs on things there as we go over the next few days in the weekend in the Mandy Schwartz Memorial Tournament. Wade, thanks for taking some time today. Maybe see you around the rink this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks again for everything. Appreciate it.
Right on. There he is. Wade Klippenstein, Notre Dame Director of Hockey, joining us here. We're talking about the Mandy Schwartz Memorial Tournament. Yeah, I had a chance to check that out last year. Some really good hockey. That's very interesting. The academy teams get pushed this year by some of the local Saski teams. That'd be nice to see. Yeah, that Saskatoon team's really good from up north. And obviously our Regina Rebels, led by Anna Benoit, in the tournament this year. And then they got the U15 division as well. So we'll be keeping tabs on that. Probably have another guest here in the next couple of days. Colson?
Wasn't there a goalie that had like 70 or 80 saves behind you and Sharky there?
We were at that game when we were broadcasting from there last year. I think it was like in the 80s. We wanted it to hit 80, and she did.
That was nuts.
80 shots on net, and I think she only let in like 8 goals. Maybe I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, the kicking for sure. Okay, we're going to break here. Sportscage coming up. We got a ticker. 620 CKRM.
Ready to raise your shower game? Rent a water heater and water softener together from Reliance Heath and turn every shower into a spa-worthy experience. Right now, when you rent a new water heater and water softener together, you'll get $400 back, sent by check after installation. Why settle for meh when you can upgrade your whole home's water and get big cashback savings? Don't miss out on this limited time offer.
Call on Reliance.
Call on Reliance Heath today.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Here in Saskatchewan, your home and your farm aren't just assets, they're your life. And Shoreline Pipestone gets that. That's why they offer coverage built for the way you live. From your family home to the land that's been in your family for generations. Whether it's homeowners insurance or specialized farm policies, their local team makes sure you're protected from the unexpected. Visit insurelinepipestone.com or call 306-224-2155. Proudly protecting Saskatchewan homes, farms, and the people who make this province strong.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Bundle and save with Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today.
Rider signings today. I was thinking for sure we'd see something come down the pike there. Local hockey, Swift Current Broncos are back at home taking on the Kelowna Rockets as they start their swing through the East, 7 p.m. in Swifty. Canada West at the World Junior A Challenge taking on the USA tonight. Trevor Blevin's squad looking for their first win before the playoffs. SJHL, games canceled yesterday. Hopefully they're going today. Weyburn is in Nipawin. Prairie Junior Hockey League, Pilot Buttes traveling into Martinsville. Nice facility there to take on the Chiefs. Male U18 AAA, also known as Midget AAA, Warman Wildcats are in town to take on the Regina Pats Canadians. Game time 7:30 at the Sixer. National Hockey League Canadian teams 1 in action. The Calgary Flames welcoming the Detroit Red Wings. We'll talk to Eric Francis in hour 3 about that win. Sportscage.com poll. How do you grade the 2025 Saskatchewan Roughriders schedule? You can please vote at sportscage.com. Still a lot to get to on the show today. We got these Harlem Globetrotter tickets to give away at some point, Colson. At some point, we are going to give them away. Here's a little fact. So I was like the Washington Generals and the Simpsons joke about I thought they were due and all that. The Harlem Globetrotters' official all-time record is approximately 27,000 wins, 345 losses.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Noteworthy losses. 1971, January 5th, they lost to the New Jersey Reds, 100-99 in an overtime game. I thought they always just played the same buffoons from the other team, and the Generals usually. 1995, I was alive. I don't remember this. September 12th, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all-star team, defeated the Globetrotters 91-85 in Vienna, Austria, snapping an 8,829 game winning streak. Now, that's a streak.
That's a streak.
Right there. In 2000, they lost 72-68 to the Michigan State University Spartans college team. Look at that. No interesting facts about the Harlem Globetrotters.
There have been 10 people named honorary members of the team, including 2 popes. Pope John Paul II and Pope Francis.
John Paul II. Dirty in the paint. You get it done from outside as well. Big basketball guy. Yes, we got 2 tickets to give away. It's coming up January 6th at the Brandt Center. It's the 100th year tour. I'm still trying to find out if they put in the floor. Do some of the players, do the rookies do they travel with the floor? I don't think the Brandt Center, unless the Brandt Center rents it. Maybe Prairie Land Rentals. Maybe Jeremy. Get some hardwood down. Get a game going. Hour 2 coming up. Tommy Stevens, 2-year deal. Tommy, our Saskatchewan Roughriders, is going to join us. Also, the senior hockey report, sprinkle of the day, and a whole lot more. Coming up in the cage in hour 2.
We are the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. The Saskatchewan NDP says the Sask Party government, led by Scott Moe, should pay Regina the $6.78 million it spent after a bidding war over a new Costco, warning that homeowners now face a major property tax hike. The NDP says the Sask Party pushed to move the project from Westera to the Global Transportation Hub, forcing Regina to cover costly incentives. Trent Witherspoon, Hugh Gordon, and Erica Ritchie all criticized the province and launched a petition demanding repayment. Members of the Amalgamated Transit Union Local 588 voted 83% for a strike mandate on Monday, arguing their wages lag behind rising costs and warning that the city's proposed $45 million budget cuts threaten service. Union President Sukhwinder Gayinda said the mandate tells council that workers will not accept cuts that harm riders. City planning shows 16 possible transit cuts, including holiday service cancellations and early shutdowns, and could mean 49 full-time job losses. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem says key interest rate remains unchanged at 2.25% at its final rate decision of the year. Macklem says that despite trade headwinds, the economy has been resilient.
Steep U.S. tariffs on steel, aluminum, automobiles, and lumber have hit those sectors hard. And uncertainty about U.S. trade policy is weighing on business investment more broadly. But so far, the economy is proving resilient overall.
The central bank says that it sees the current rate as about the right level to keep inflation close to its 2% target, so long as inflation and economic activity progress broadly in line with expectations. And it's the last call for many Canadians looking to get a piece of the $500 million class action settlement in the bread price fixing case. The suit accused Loblaw and its parent company, George Weston, of engaging in an industry-wide scheme. Canadians have until Friday to submit an online claim if they have bought packaged bread between January 2001 and December 2021 and did not previously accept a gift card from Loblaw. Once that distribution is complete, any leftover money will be divided among anyone who claimed the earlier gift card. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the federal government is making progress on the Building Canada Act, which will enable it to streamline federal approval processes to get major projects built faster. Carney spoke to reporters today in Ottawa.
Pleased that we have the Building Canada Act through and that we're making progress. Canadians rightly expect us to make a lot more progress.
The Building Canada Act was introduced on June 6th as part of Bill C-5, the One Canadian Economy Act. And a raccoon broke into a closed Virginia liquor store and drank alcohol from the bottom shelves over the weekend. An animal control officer says the raccoon was found on Saturday passed out next to the store's toilet. The officer said the raccoon then sobered up after a few hours. Officials say they released him back into the wild. Officials say the raccoon had zero signs of injury after the break-in. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious Protection Killer Lux. 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, periods of light snow, 2 to 4 centimeters in some areas, rising to -9, then dropping to a low of -13. Wind will be out of the south, 20, gusting up to 40. Tomorrow, light snow and windy. We're falling to -15. Wind out of the northwest, 15 to 30, with gusts up to 45 later in the day. Tomorrow night, flurries and mostly cloudy and breezy again. Low down to -26, but with the wind chill, it will feel around -34. Friday, partly sunny and cold, high of -23. Saturday, partly sunny, high of -20. And then Sunday looks like early flurries, then partly sunny and a high of -4. Currently in downtown Regina, overcast sky. It's -15, but with the wind, it feels like -25.
For 40 years, the team from Line X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. RMP Winter Tire Offer is on now. Purchase a set of 4 eligible winter tires before December 31st and receive up to $120 in instant rebates. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back on Wednesday. Colson riding with me. We're getting it done for Regina Motor Products. Get winter tires, please. Don't be sliding off the ring road and highways. It's nasty out there. Get them before December 31st. Like you said, receive 120 in instant rebates. Keeping the show going, we're going to hear from Tommy Stevens, our quarterback, the Riders, 2-year deal in moments. A little sprinkle of the day later. Senior hockey fans, a senior hockey report is coming up in this hour. This Phillip Rivers thing, and you don't have to be an Indianapolis Colts fan. You don't have to be an NFL fan. You just got to sit back and just like to watch interesting things. It like when they put a bunny in a cage with a python. You sit back and watch. Like, well, how does this happen? Or the dummies that fall into, like, at a zoo. They fall into the lion compound or something. Like, okay, what's going on? Like, you just watch. Just sit back and watch. He's 44 years old. Now, that isn't that big of a deal to play football at 44. Lots of people have done it. Tom Brady, right? Brett Favre. He hasn't played in 5 years. We're talking to Luke Mullinder in hour 1. Like, think about if you're... I always say, like, over the age of 44, 45 is when weird things started hurting for me and just always getting injured, and it's super annoying. For some people, it's younger. But if you stop playing something or stop doing something, whether it's jogging or riding a Peloton or playing hockey or whatever, and you don't do it for a few years and you go try and do it again, you can be in decent shape. You can be working out, but there's weird muscles that all of a sudden start hurting and weird places of the body that start hurting. He's 44. He hasn't been playing for 5 years. I'm actually kind of rooting for him, to see him do it, to see him play. He's got a lot. He's got 10 kids, something like that. He's doing it for a lot of his kids. And his kids, the gap, it's, hey, and I know I'm a baby in a family. I'm an oopsie. It's like he's got kids here, and he's got kids that have kids. He's a granddad. He talked to the media today. I take it for what it's worth. I listen to this. I go, I'm kind of rooting for Philip Rivers.
They've been very supportive. I think my younger children are most excited. I shouldn't say most excited. They're excited because they don't remember Dad playing. My 6-year-old actually asked me like 4 months ago, like, Dad, why don't you play anymore? And I'm like, hon, I'm sorry. Best you're going to get is me coaching on the sideline, because they were seeing, highlight, or they're pulling up some, old games. My boys are fired up, obviously, but I think share the same sentiment. A little nervous, like, Dad, you think you can do it, And then my older girls are real excited because they're a little bit confused. They're like, shoot, I was 12. Some of them, now all of a sudden they're grown adults, married, and they remember 16 years old going to the ball game. So it's been a whirlwind of 48 hours, I'll say.
What do you think, Colson? You come from a big family. Are you rooting for the guy?
Oh yeah, I'm rooting for the guy. Like you said, it's weird because kids were young, now they're older, and they're like, oh, seeing Dad go out there and do it again, going to be a little nervous. The young kids are obviously really excited, but I'm rooting for him. I don't think he's, like Luke said, I don't think he's going to have much of a good shot out there. I'm hoping he's just more of a coach. Because, I'm 28 and I can sleep in the bed wrong and get up hurting.
How many people were really rooting for Mike Tyson? When was that? I want to say it was last year, but I bet you it was like 3 years ago because everything is just flying by come year-wise. But when Mike Tyson got into the ring with Jake Paul?
Yeah, and that was November last year.
So November last year, and everyone's like, oh, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson's going to murder him. Because we were watching old tape of Mike Tyson. Black trunks, coming into the ring, just staring at guys. Guys going, boy, I made the wrong decision being here in this ring with this guy, with this animal. And then he had that sidestep uppercut that we all tried to do as kids on our buddies. Man, he just knocked guys out. So we were all rooting for Mike. And then Mike went into the ring, and Mike looked old. And Mike looked tired. And then we all thought, man, you know how hard that would be to be boxing a guy? And I know it's supposed to be an exhibition, and it was an exhibition. And I was like, I can't even imagine how tiring that is. Like, so tiring. I go on the elliptical, and I feel like, what a feat that was. But we rooted for him. I'm rooting for Philip Rivers. 5 years away, though.
It's a long time.
That's the thing. 5 years away. Hockey players, and a lot of guys, we'll talk to Eric Francis about this later. A lot of hockey players have played older, but I'm trying to think of guys that left and came back after a long time. Like even 3-4 years hockey players that were older. Like there's a guy like Jagger played 46 in the NHL. Chris Chelios still looks good. Tanning bed guy. He was 48. Zdeno Chara, 45. Everyone's going to go Gordie Howe. Played at 52. That's mind-boggling.
Didn't he play a game in the 60s too? Just for fun?
Yeah, like,
one game.
I think it was like for an exhibition.
Yeah.
Some sort of
or something.
promo. But yeah, hockey, another thing. We'll talk to Eric Francis about it later. I don't know. Is anybody out there rooting? You were like me? Are you rooting for Philip Rivers? Why not? Why not? Text messages, Prairie Land Rentals text line. Tom and David, they're just saying Luke is a monster. Season just ended and he's got us pumped for next year. That's right. It's what Luke does. Georgie Porgy's wondering if we could do the old sports cage out at the Pilot Butte Rodeo. I've never been to the Pilot Butte Rodeo. June 19th. CKRM leads the parade as media partner with Saturday's Family Fun Day Rodeo. That'd be fun. Hey, parade, Georgie. Maybe you have a few before.
Make a donation to our travel budget. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, that's right, budget. My son and I, this is Greg, my son and I were at the Cowboys game 18 years ago. This week they played the Eagles. The game wasn't great, but the tailgate and the many crazy Eagle fans were the best part of the trip. Bucket list for any football fan, Greg. Yeah, Greg. I've told this story about Eagle fans at Arizona tailgate once. I was like, they weren't good people. But the tailgate in Texas, oh man, so good. I think that could be one of my favorites. Foxborough, lots good. Oakland was weird. San Francisco, meh. Arizona, it's just always nice. San Diego used to be good. Yeah, San Diego was a ride. There's a lot of cool people down there. Just kind of just taking it all in. Where else? College ones are fun. Tuscaloosa, Alabama's got it. If you're a big tailgater, go and check that out. Report back. Dan in Regina seeing Rivers. He doesn't look that chiseled. If you missed the conversation with Luke figured that Phillip Rivers looked a lot like him. I'm not going to judge. We can all lose a few. I think Phillip's looking good. Roscoe saying Chris Chelios, the lumberjack. Chelios had a run. The stories that guy could really tell, I bet you. Chris Chelios. Here's how we're going to give away these Harlem Globetrotter tickets. This had an idea here. The Harlem Globetrotters. Now, do you know the answer to this, Colson? Their theme song. Do you know what their theme song is?
I don't actually.
Sweet Georgia Brown.
Okay.
That's the end. I want to know, give me the Harlem Globetrotters theme song, wrong answers only. Wrong answers only. Harlem Globetrotters theme song. I kind of want to read them on the air too, so keep them a little bit above board. I think that's fun. Coming up January 6th at the Brand Center. It's the 100-year tour of the Harlem Globetrotters. Harlem Globetrotters theme song, wrong answers only. Don't forget, their record is approximately 27,000, that's wins, and 345 losses. Yeah. I never thought they would have lost that many games.
We got a text and a name on the YouTube saying Guy Lafleur took time off.
Guy
Lafleur. My bad.
Guy. Whatever, the flower. Yeah, that was good. What did he come back with, the Nordiques? No, he came back with the Rangers.
Yeah, the texter is saying took 3 full seasons off.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I was like 80s, and Guy ripped darts like crazy, even up until he was here at the Memorial Cup. Rest in peace, Guy. Great guy. I remember met him. My wife's like, he smelled good. He had a good cologne, but he liked, ripping the sticks for sure. Put up 45 points in 67 games in his return. That's name and cologne is also going with Guy Lafleur. All right. Okay, now everybody have fun with that. Win some Harlem Globetrotter tickets, even if you don't want the tickets. Let us know. Harlem Globetrotters theme song, wrong answers only. Let's talk some football. Some Rider football and other football. Tommy Stevens. Okay, joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline, like I said, Tommy Stevens, newly signed with the Riders. Okay, off just to start here, you were saying you're in Regina, like you didn't go home, like you're pot committed here to the 306.
Yeah, they committed to me, so I had to, I guess, commit right back, huh? So I'm incredibly thankful. Thank you for that. I'm happy. Couldn't be happier to be back.
It's going to get cold this weekend. What's the coldest that you've been around? Like, I know you're an Indianapolis guy and you've been around some cold weather in your time, but what's the coldest that you've been? Have you been to a minus 30-ish yet with some wind?
Yeah, so I don't remember if it was wind or not, but 23 off-season I stayed in Calgary. And I remember asking, some of my buddies, my girlfriend or family, all that. I was like, hey, like, how cold is it going to get out here? Like, I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know that it ever got more than negative 20 Fahrenheit. Like, I thought that was extreme, right? And so they're talking about like negative 40. And I'm like, man, like, to Siberia? It's like, I didn't know it got this cold. So that led me my next question. I was like, hey, like, because I didn't have a winter coat. Just double up on hoodies. And so I'm like, hey, like, if I was stranded outside, hypothetically, like how long would I have? I don't know, like 20, 30 minutes. 20 or 30 minutes? What do you mean?
And then the beauty thing too, right? Like anytime it's a lot of times it's the rider guys that come up, or anybody that comes up, they go, why are those cars plugged in? What's going on with that? Have you plugged your car in Calgary or here yet?
No, but also the same situation happened with me. Like I was told, hey, why don't you just plug your car in? I'm like, it's not electric. Like that's why I don't plug it in. Like, what do you mean? They're like, no, like plug your car in, your battery's gonna die. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know that was a thing. I guess I'll have to go buy like an adapter. Like, no, dude, you have one. You just have to like dig in there and find it. I was like, what? So yeah, this is all very confusing to me. I didn't know this was a thing.
And you also got a winter coat. It's tied in there, tucked away. No, that's awesome. Yeah. Hey, let's talk about the deal. Obviously, everybody's really excited. You're excited to stay here. What can you tell us? What can you take us through? Was it easy? Was it quick?
Yeah, it was fairly easy, I would say. I told Mace during exit interviews, I was like, hey, man, like, there's nowhere I want to play. There's nobody I want to play for. Like, if I'm not here, I'll be on my couch. So I was like, let's find a way to get this done. Like, again, there's nowhere else I'd rather play. And this place was awesome to me year one. And I felt like, honestly, like this was kind of a down year for me, really. I mean, if you look at some of the stats and what I've done in the past, I'm coming off of a 10 touchdown year the year before, and so I'm still hungry. Feel like I have a lot to prove, and yeah, incredibly grateful. I'm glad for the opportunity. I'm glad that the organization believes in me, and yeah, more to prove.
I'm not asking for any inside baseball or anything here, but, Trevor Harris, signs, and Hardrick yesterday, and I'm sure there's going to be more and more here. When we talked to Mitch Picton last week, and Trevor Harris, it was like, oh no, we've talked, like the guys have talked, and we want to run it back as much as possible. Just having that group of guys, because, you've been through it, whether, it's in Calgary and you've heard about it before too. It's having that group of guys that want to come back. Like that's pretty special and unique in pro sports.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's all a little bit different for me. Obviously, being the new guy and you're really not really knowing what to expect coming in. I mean, obviously, I'm seeing it from the outside looking in, and I knew that this was something I wanted to be a part of. And really, at the end of the day, it was more so just what I had been hearing from people that had been around, and it's different when you're obviously there and it's hands-on, right? And so, the foundation, I think that, they talked a lot about building the foundation, 24 season, I wasn't here for, but, that was pretty evident to me. And especially, I think that, really anybody in the league that would have played against the Riders, my first year was 22 in the league, and there was a different, bounce to the 24 team than the 22 and 23 team. And you could tell that. And so you knew that, the Riders were building something. And, it felt like, from my perspective, that they had the right guy leading the ship. And, truly being there in 25 and, just being a part of that group, being a part of the guys. And man, it was the most fun playing football I've ever had. And it's obviously easy to say that after the fact. And it's easy, when you're, winning and when you win the Grey Cup. And don't get me wrong, like that obviously has a huge part in it. But I'll never forget, being a guy that came from Calgary, which I don't have much bad to say about the place. I really enjoyed my time there. I'm thankful for, the memories that I made at that place. But, we lose to Calgary at home, and then we go to Calgary and we get beat there. And so that was probably, if we had a low point in the season, that was like the lowest part of the season. And I remember looking across the sideline, and I remember, seeing them celebrate like, they had won the Grey Cup. And I never for a second did I think, man, like maybe I made the wrong decision. Like maybe I should have stayed. That never crossed my mind ever. I knew being with the Riders, and I knew being with Corey Mace, and I knew being with, all my teammates here. I knew that this was the perfect place for me. And, I loved what we were able to accomplish.
I asked Trevor this, and I'm gonna ask you, was a 2-year deal ever on the table or ever thought about? Or did you sign?
For me or for Trev?
For you signed 2. Like, was that always in play?
Yes.
Or was it going to be like, maybe let's go 1 by 1 here, or 2 was the way to go?
I guess I didn't really think about it too much. It was more so like I wanted to, do it whatever was best for us and put us in a good, situation. I knew there's obviously going to be a lot of money that has to go around here, and in order to, keep a lot of the group, right? And so I wanted to do whatever made sense for the organization, and they offered a 2-year deal. And again, like, this is the only place that I want to play. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it.
That's so awesome, right? When it works like that. Let's go to the game. 2 TDs in the Grey Cup, tying a Rider record. Do you know who that record's tied with? I'm sure you heard about it a lot. Do you know the 2 guys?
I don't know them personally now. I'm hoping, obviously, maybe
you know the names though.
You have to remind me now.
G-Roy Simon and Corey Sheets. Yeah.
And then neither of them came back, correct? I do remember seeing that, like, people responded and all that.
I think that's, G-Roy definitely. Yeah. He was later in his career. What, Tommy, when you go to that game and winning, and is it when the clock hits 0, or what's the moment that's kind of engraved in your mind right now of that whole experience, the game, after everything? Is there that one moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think to answer your question, because obviously the whole week and really just the whole season have, again, most fun football year I've ever had. So there's obviously a ton of different moments that I can go back to, but I think really what did it for me, getting the hat, getting the shirt, seeing the confetti. It was finally, I don't want to say sign of relief, but it was like, we did it. This is what we wanted. We've been working for so long. A lot of us have been working our whole lives to be a part of a championship team. This is the first time for me since, I don't know, 4th grade that, I finished my league as, the overall champion. Like, I've only finished, I think, 4 football seasons in my life with a win. So it's, it's hard, man. It's hard to ever truly be number one. And there was something special just about that moment with the guys that, welcomed me with open arms, and, they didn't have to be as good to me as that they've been. And really that's a testament to not only the teammates, but to the organization, to the fans. I mean, people have been outstanding to me. They've been very nice to me and my family. And yeah, man, it's again, this is the best place for me.
The days after the Grey Cup, and I'm sure, cliche a little bit, it's going to be big in Saskatchewan, it's only the 5th one and all that, but that parade and what went on at the legislature, and I know you guys as a team, you guys are pedal down for like a week, which that's awesome, right? You got to get after it. But were you prepared for what that was going to be like, the few days after, and just Rider Nation and how they showed up? Mind you, the weather was really nice out too, but like that legislature celebration was off the charts.
Yeah, again, it was more so just I had an idea of what it would be like, and I'd felt the overall, I don't necessarily know the support. Yes. Passion. I'd felt the passion from, just Rider Nation all year. And, I was able to get a sense of what this really meant to, not just the city of Regina, but the entire province. And so, for a guy that, didn't grow up in Regina or, grow up in Saskatchewan or really know a whole lot about the place until I got here, I had an idea of what it would be like, and I had, maybe my sense of it just from the season, but it was above and beyond even my expectations, man. It was truly such a unique opportunity, unique situation. And I guess what I've been comparing it to for, the people that have asked me is it's similar to a college football in the States as any place I've been since I left Penn State, honestly. I mean, this place was kind of, people will say it's kind of culty there, and, obviously a huge fan base and passionate. And the Rider logo means a ton to people, and it makes me proud to represent.
Schedule was released yesterday. You look at it, and maybe you got a preview of it. You guys got the bye week in week 1. Does anything jump out as a player? Looking forward to anything when it comes out?
It's more so just, I'd say excited to learn what it's going to be. Not necessarily looking for anything. I mean, if anything, I guess for me, I was just looking at things that, maybe haven't happened in my career so far. So, for example, we're going to play Toronto twice at home because of, what's going on, I believe, with the World Cup. I think that's the reason why.
Yeah.
So like that'll be a little bit different. The week 1 bye, not really ideal from, what I've heard. And, but I really liked what, Coach O'Shea from Winnipeg said, because they had the week 1 bye last week, and I'm sure people from Saskatchewan won't love me talking about the the Bombers on this, but I really enjoyed what he said. Like I pay attention to a lot of people's press conferences and just listen to what other people around. I'm a football guy, right? So I like hearing what other football guys have to talk about, and he said something along the lines of, "There's no perfect schedule ever. Like the schedule is the schedule. It is what it is, right?" And so I was like, it's a unique way of looking at it. And, I've got a lot of respect for Coach O'Shea. I've never spoke with him. I've never talked to him. I have no relationship whatsoever. But, from the stories that I've heard from, former teammates that I've had in the past that have, played for him, seems like he's a pretty passionate guy about football. And, yeah.
Do you look at it too, like rest days? Okay, we're going to have this gap here. We got this rest here, the body. As a player, do you look at that?
Yeah, that's probably, I guess, the most thing. Like I remember looking at the schedule last year, and I was like, man, like our bye weeks are perfectly spaced out. Like I can't remember exactly how it was, but it was like 6 games, 7 games, whatever it was, right? And so it was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I guess, a challenge for us because truly, it's kind of like we're getting 2 bye weeks now instead of 3 if we're getting the week 1 bye, but. It's just another opportunity for us, man. Like it's going to cause us to, detail our preparation, and work hard to not let that be, a problem for us.
So we got you, we got Harris, Hardrick, Awachi announced yesterday. Do you think, maybe a little Rider Nation, should we expect just signing after signing after signing here for a bit? Can you give us any kind of inside info on that? Maybe not names.
I wish I had it. I'm kind of sitting back waiting to hear, just like everybody else is.
Okay.
I was pulling into the grocery store yesterday when I found out that Yosh was returning. I'm pumped. I'm sitting in the truck. I'm like, yeah, let's go. So now I'm no different than anybody else. I kind of just sit back and wait to see what happens.
Okay, I got to ask you about some current events now. Football guy here. I'm really interested to hear this. Indianapolis guy, last time we had you on, you're like, yeah, you grew up kind of a Colts fan and all that. Philip Rivers, it's not the age, Tommy. It's not the 44. I think guys can play at 44. It's the not playing professional football for 5 years. What's your take on what's going on there?
I'm interested to see what happens. I don't think, I've seen there's a lot of negative feedback, I guess, that I've seen just from fans, oh, why are we doing this? This guy hasn't played in forever, whatever, da-da-da. I don't think bringing in a future Hall of Famer is ever a bad idea, right? Even if it doesn't work out playing wise, why not bring that guy to the room? Why not have him just give a little bit of knowledge just to anybody that can hear it? It doesn't even have to be the quarterback, just anybody in the organization that can learn from a guy like Philip Rivers. Absolutely. I think that we should be open and welcoming him with open arms. And so I know Trevor has a relationship with Philip Rivers. He's talked to him many times, done some events with him, and he's had nothing but good things to say about him. I've never met Philip Rivers, but from the people that I do know that know him, everybody loves him, and so he seems like an outstanding human.
Kind of like the Tyson versus Paul fight, right? We want to see it happen now. We want to see him play a little bit, right?
As much as I hate to say it, I think Phil will look better than what Mike Tyson looked like on that night, and And I loved watching Tyson fight, and from the little bits that I remember, I was obviously growing up when his prime, and honestly, I'm probably too young to remember his prime, but I went back and I've watched. I enjoy watching the UFC, the boxing stuff. So, whatever it is, there's something about watching a sport that I know that I'd be no good at. Like, I would not be a good UFC fighter. I would not be a good boxer. I would not be a good hockey player. At least right now, I can't skate. Never skated before. So I wish I would have grew up in a place like this, because I love hockey. I think it's awesome, but I just know that I would not be any good if they threw me out on the ice right now.
I think there's a group of you, though, that kind of want to skate. Coach Mace talked about it last year. I think you guys just need to go out and start, getting used to it. Picton and Lawther, those guys can skate, and Lawther skates very well, so maybe they can get the boys out, give them some lessons. Kay, I want to get your take on the college football playoff.
Oh, man. How much time you got?
Fire away. Because, last time you were on, you told us how you were kind of the transfer portal Cowboys, right? Like, you guys were early on in that. So I'm like, well, I get to talk to Tommy. I got to ask him about what he thinks about the Notre Dame snub. I don't know. Maybe should have been there. Some of the teams. I think this year would have been way easier with just 4 teams.
Yeah, it probably would have. I guess I didn't, when they originally expanded the playoffs, I didn't foresee it becoming more difficult to put guys in, right? And so I think that NIL has made more of a difference than the format, because I think that all of the top 10 teams in the country now there's a much smaller gap between them, right? And so I think that has caused really the issues here. I can't believe Notre Dame got snubbed, honestly. I still haven't really gotten an explanation as to why, what the difference between, BYU is and, say a Miami or, an Alabama. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that I could go. I don't think Bama should have been in. I don't think Bama should have been in. I definitely don't think Miami should have been in. There's not enough people talking about Miami being in. I don't understand that. They have 2 pretty bad losses, in my opinion, and in comparison to everybody else, right? Like, Notre Dame lost to 2 teams that are in the playoff, and BYU lost to the same team twice that won their conference, went to the conference championship. Bama has 3 losses, and it's like, man, I just feel like the goalpost, for lack of a better term, the goalpost moves on this every year, right? And so
it's like a politics. There's got to be some politics played into it somewhere along the line. TV ratings, James Madison.
Absolutely.
Tulane, I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. Yeah. Okay, so then when you look at everything, who do you like? Georgia, Indiana, Ohio State? Who do you like, though, to win it all?
Just to win it all? I think that the Hoosiers are a really good team, and they proved a lot to me, because I, along with just about everybody else, didn't really give them a chance. I didn't think that they'd beat Ohio State. So they proved a lot to me. But with that being said, just the format of the bracket, the way that everything looks, this is a great bracket for the Oregon Ducks. They have, I think, the best route to the national championship. And I think that also plays a factor in it, right? And so
that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
In a way, that's kind of what happened with Ohio State last year. So, I think I think they're a good football team. I think Georgia is a really good football team. You never know, man. You never know how these things are going to shake out. I'm just like everybody else. I'm excited for them.
And the 1-game showdown, right? That's the beauty about football. The scary thing, and also the beauty. What are you thinking if you're in that Ole Miss locker room? Lane Kiffin kind of says, "All right, I'm out," and then now you're into the playoffs. Your coach is gone. Rumors of other guys leaving, other coaches leaving. Like that's one of the things that I think that should be looked at and changed. That puts a lot of people in awkward spots.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a relationship with a kid that was at Penn State, would have been last season, Bo Prabula. And so I've talked to him a couple times. He was kind of, I guess, the first I don't necessarily know if he was the first one to kind of like blow this issue up. But Bo had to leave. Penn State was going to play against Boise. I guess maybe it wasn't Boise. Maybe it would have been I think it was before the playoff even started. So long story short, Bo had to leave before he could take, part in the playoff. He was the backup. He had a very similar role to me as, when I was at Penn State, backup, played a utility role and did a lot of things. So he ends up transferring to Missouri and had a pretty good year there. So I remember just thinking, like, man, this sucks for the kid, because I know the kid didn't want to leave, at least not at that point, right? Like, the kid just wants to do what's best for himself, but, he can't, play in the playoff and then leave after because the transfer window's closed. So there's a lot, and I don't know all the details about it, just to be transparent here. I'm trying to work through it myself. My little brother's at Virginia Tech right now, so we're trying to just basically go through everything, and NIL and whatever the issue is, right? It's just a completely different world. I mean, I remember he asked me for advice about like negotiating his NIL money. I said, brother, I'm not the guy to ask. I'd never negotiated money in my contract. Like, there's no contracts for me. Maybe got a burger one time. That was cool.
And you had to keep that on the down low.
Yeah, right. Like, that's the Michigan thing, right? And I think that's what Jim got in trouble for.
Oh wow, yeah,
everything is so much different now, man. And it's I've only been out since 2019. 2019 was my last year, so it really wasn't that long ago. And just the landscape of just about every single thing about college football has changed.
What's his name? What position does he play?
Aycen, so Aycen. He's a defensive end. So I'm actually considered the soft one of my family. I come from a family full of defensive players. My uncle played offensive and defensive line, small college. My dad played defensive line, and then I actually had an uncle that was probably I'd say Division I caliber player, and before senior year gets hit in like a jamboree game, ruptures his spleen, and so he's built more similar to me. And so he goes to University of Indianapolis, plays there, gets moved to tight end, which ends up happening to me in my career. So so me and my Uncle Clint are kind of the outcasts of the heavy hitters of defense and head banging and not knowing football, in my opinion. You guys aren't as smart as us.
That'd be some rowdy Thanksgiving games, man, with that with that family. In closing, I want to ask you, you kind of maybe, I guess, slighted yourself a bit, saying it wasn't touchdown-wise the year you wanted. You had 5 tutties this past season compared to the year before. But that stat, and I'm looking at it here, you needed total of 41 yards on 36 plays. You gained 107. You needed 41 yards. You gained 107. So that's 2.5 times distance required to move the change. That's something, that jumps out at the page. Doesn't matter the touchdowns. So when you train and get ready for next season, do you changing things up a little bit? Is there a goal set already, or you'll wait for that maybe to the spring?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to change a ton about what I've been doing. I mean, obviously, I unfortunately had the injury late in the year this year, and kind of just one of those things that I wouldn't relate to training, right? I mean, there's a fracture in my leg, knee, so I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that, but whatever. So I don't think there was anything directly related to again my training, and unfortunate, but I felt like I had taken much better care of my body as far as the things that I was eating, and just all overall process. I did more this year, I feel like I've done in years past, and so got to keep building. Obviously, I'm gonna try to do more again in 26, and just continue to try to prepare to just give myself the best opportunity for success. I mean, at the end of the day, I think I've said this a couple times now, through, whatever it was, media, and, interviews, whatnot. Like, my overall goal is just to always influence the game in a positive way. And so I guess when I talked about, maybe not always about touchdowns, I mean, I think that we had way more explosive a way more explosive offense than I've been a part of in years past. And so a lot of guys, there's a lot of, I don't want to say mouths to feed, but a lot of opportunities for guys to score touchdowns. And we had a lot of guys that, just didn't get tackled at the one. So we, maybe that had something to do with it. But the things that stand out to me, we get stopped against BC week, whatever that was, 3, 4, or whenever that was on second down, have to kick a field goal in that play. I think about fumbling against Montreal at home. I think about getting stopped by Edmonton at the 1. Like those are the plays that stand out to me. So there was one too many of those plays for me to be comfortable with. And so those are the things that I got to make sure that don't ever happen. Just because that's if that's my role, and I got to make sure that these things are taken care of. So it was a good year. Don't get me wrong. I think that we took things serious, and I was very happy with our overall approach to it, and for the most part, our execution with it. But we've got area to grow.
Yeah, well, and you got that fire, right? You got, I love it. I think it's cool. Man, anytime you want to talk ball, you get bored in this cold Saskatchewan winter, you let us know here. We can talk ball all day long. Do you have a pick? Do you have a pick of who's going to win the Super Bowl though? Because if there was ever a year, man, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a popular opinion, and I've got no favoritism towards it in any way. I think the Seattle Seahawks are the most dangerous team in football right now. They're doing good things over there, pretty quietly too. A lot of people aren't really talking about them. So
like Houston.
Also like Houston. Houston also doing a lot of good things. So they're more so getting healthy, I think, at the right time too. Like they kind of spent a little bit of the front half of the year, and a lot of really the end of last year, they were kind of banged up too, if I remember right. And so they're both teams trending at the right time. So yeah, I like both of those teams, but I'm more a Bills guy than anything. I think I enjoy watching the Bills. The guy that I was, at Penn State, Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, was with us at Penn State. So, support him. I love the way Josh Allen plays. I think that's probably very believable. I think, guy does good stuff. So, and you'll catch me right. And I got college teammates that are there too. So easy to root for.
Yeah, they take on my Pats again this weekend. So it'll be a measuring stick for both. Measuring stick for both teams there. Yeah, man. Anytime you want to talk ball, this is a lot of fun. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. 2 more years of him in the green and white. Tommy Stevens joining us here. Quick break. We'll be right back with more of The Cage.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Lindsay had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
We see Brian as more than a financial expert. He understands the importance of family. He guides us to make decisions that will benefit our family's financial future.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
He's trustworthy and he's very easy to work with.
Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions. 306-546-2533.
Elevate your baling experience with the Heston by Massey Ferguson 1 Series Round Baler. With a dependable, long-lasting design for challenging conditions and high-speed baling, this machine features swing-away net loading and an optional hydraulic drop floor for easy obstruction clearing. Quality hay production starts today with Heston by Massey Ferguson. See the Massey Ferguson 1 Series Round Baler at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. For more information, visit nicksservice.com.
Looking for the best gear at the best price? Extreme Hockey and Sport just raised the bar. Now, with a price match guarantee, find the same product anywhere else, show the price, and they'll match it. The gear you need, the service you trust, and the price you want. Why settle for anything less? Get the local loyalty and the price match guarantee only at Extreme Hockey. Any budget, expert fit. Your local sit and fit hockey shop. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, Regina's Hockey Shop.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Okay, so Clutch Performer. I don't know, Colson, if you have one. Sorry, Oiler fans. Sorry. If you're watching the stream, we're going to last night's overtime goal from Alex Tuck.
Alex Tuck and Darlene. Here's Tuck in front, scores! Sabres in overtime, salvage it in Edmonton, and they take 2 points from the Oilers.
Hey, at least you got a point out of it. And was Evan Bouchard getting roasted by Oiler fans yesterday? I'm in a chat group, bunch of guys. One's an Oiler fan. He wants to go and pack and get Bouchard out of town himself. So, Alex Tuck, clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. We're asking people for our Harlem Globetrotters giveaway. They're coming to the Brandt Center January 6th on the hardwood. 100-year tour, the 100th year tour. We were asking, what's the Harlem Globetrotters theme song? Wrong answers only. Dan and Regina says, still haven't found it. I'm looking for. Gerald says, Born in the USA. Tiptoe through the tulips. Captain and I are still laughing over that. That's good. Tiptoe through the tulips. Dress for Success, Roxette. They know that I'm a big Roxette fan. There's still more to come to. Coming up, Prairie Land Rentals text line. Let's talk some senior hockey.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Senior Hockey Reports on the Sportscage. Brought to you by Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain, always on Saskatchewan's side. And Croft Electric. 28 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all electrical needs. CroftElectric.com and all socials.
Side of the ice, McLeod carries it in.
We are local, we cover local, and that is why once a week we have the Senior Hockey Report right here on the Sports Cage, powered by the Monday Nooner podcast. The Monday Nooner is your outlet for senior hockey. Follow them on any of the socials, or you can download the latest podcast and find out who the top 10 teams are in the province this week at MondayNoonerPodcast.com. Here on the Cage, Senior Hockey Report is sponsored by a couple of sponsors who like to cover local things. Croft Electric, 27 years in business, holiday lighting, permanent lighting, anything you need. Electrical, Croft Electric, and Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain, always on Saskatchewan's side. Let's start in the Big Six Hockey League. And two undefeated teams in the Big Six. The Moosomin Rangers are sitting at 6-0. The Redvers Rockets are 5-0. They don't play this weekend, but two undefeated teams. The league leader, Bud Holloway, the ageless one. Bud Holloway leading in points. Carter Sawchuk is right behind him. A couple of games this weekend to point out. The Red Devils, Carnduff, maybe struggling a little bit out of the gate this year. Maybe they're turning it around. They got a test. They're taking on the undefeated Moosomin Rangers coming up Friday, 8 p.m. at the Mike Schwain Arena, where I heard the bar upstairs is unbelievable. Great word. Wawota Flyers and the Oil Kings in Kipling, 8 p.m. Saturday in Kipling. And then one more for you. The team that's winless on the season, the Mydale Mustangs, against the undefeated Moosomin Rangers. Again, at the Mike Schwain Saturday. It is 8 p.m. Make miracles happen. Mydale, let's go. Let's find a way. So that's a little Big Six Hockey League this weekend. Sask East Hockey League, I should say. North standings, it's the Theodore Buffaloes. Top at 4-1 in the South. Langenberg sitting at 6-1. Langenberg is in action this weekend. They are hosting the Russell Rams, 8 o'clock Saturday at the Langenberg Remax Arena. Esterhazy is in Priestville, Rocanville, in Churchbridge. Friday night, don't sleep on this one. Esterhazy, who's 5-2 on the season, against the Kenora Cobras. 3-2 are the Cobras. 3-2-1. Sorry. So that should be a good Tilly tonight at Cheech's house in Kenora. Go to that one if you're in the area. 8:30 puck drop. The ever popular 8:30 puck drop in Kenora tonight. So that's a little, there's some games coming up this weekend in the Sask East Hockey League. Shout out scoring leader wise, Dakota McIntosh from Cote. 9 games played, 32 points. He's running amok. Carter Cockburn, Bruce's boy, he sits second with 24 points. So a little Sask East for you. Not a Q Hockey League. The La Flèche Flyers have lost a game in regulation. The La Flèche Flyers are mortal. They lost last weekend to, some of you probably could have guessed this one, to the Assiniboia Rebels. So Assiniboia sitting with a mark of 6-2. LaFlèche still leads the league though, 6-1-1, and then Milestone, the newcomers to the league, are 6-1, 12 points there. As for games coming up this weekend, LaFlèche Community Center, Friday night, 8 p.m., going to be a gooder. Milestone in town to take on the league leaders. Saturday, how about a little shout-out in Avonlea at the Memorial Rink, 7:30. Mossbank is in town, and then the Assiniboia Rebels take on Radville. Radville just 2-7 on the season, also on Saturday. As for leaders in the league of the Notikewin League, Zach Evans, he leads 24 points on the season for the Assiniboia Rebels. So Zach leads, and then also shout out in second place, Travis Merritt, right behind, 1 point, teammate from Assiniboia with 23 points. There's a little love for the Notikewin Hockey League. Let's do a quick stop at the Prairie Men's Hockey League, one of the newer leagues in the province. Just they added a team this year, so good to see they're growing. Cupar still leads there, 4-0 on the season. Indian Head is 4-1. Game of the week, it is Indian Head and Cupar, the top two teams. Trying to knock off the leaders are the Indian Head Chiefs. So that one goes down 8 p.m. in Cupar. Friday night, Dane Bonish leads the league with 20 points. Travis Orr has 16. We wouldn't be complete if we didn't stop over in the Qu'Appelle Valley Highway Hockey League, where the leaders are the Lumsden Monarchs. Again, good squad out there, followed by the Raymore Rockets, but the Raymore Rockets are sliding. No doubt about that. Shout out Grenfell Spitfires. First win of the season, 6-2 over Raymore. Last Friday night. Then it was Lumsden 5-0 over the Spits the next night. So Lumsden flexing their muscle a bit there. Balgony Bison 7-2 over Raymore last weekend. So a couple of losses for the Raymore Rockets. Coming up this weekend, some good games in the area. Southie's going to try and knock off Lumsden, 8 p.m. in Lumsden on Friday night. Grenfell looking for win number 2 in the season against the Bethune Bulldogs in Carmen Curtis's rink. That one, 8 p.m. in Bethune on Saturday. And then Balgony. I like this Balgony-Southie matchup. 8 p.m. in Southie. 200/90. That ice surface, isn't it? Out there in Southie? Or maybe that's Lumsden. I thought they're both the same. Southie hosting Balgony, 8 p.m. on Saturday. So that's a look at the Qu'Appelle Valley Highway Hockey League. Oh, and league leader there, Kevin Dufour from Lumsden. He's having his way with things, 34 points. Jordan Haywood from Lumsden is second with 24 points. Braden Holtby, shout out in net for Lumsden. He's kicking there, 1.33 goals against average. That's your senior hockey report for this week, brought to you by Croft Electric and Warren Steinley, MP for Regina Louvain. It's powered by the Monday Nooner Podcast. You want to listen to anything when it comes to senior hockey, the Monday Nooner Podcast should be your stop. You can find out who the top 10 teams in the province this week, and you can find them on all the socials. We'll be back. It is the Sports Cage. We are the home of local sports. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and always on the mighty 620 CKRM.
Out here in southern Saskatchewan, the sun shows up for work every day. Might as well make it earn its keep. That's where Keln Solar comes in. These folks travel all over the province helping people put solar on their homes, farms, and cabins. They're local guys, Sask-born, Sask-raised, and not going anywhere. Except, to your place. Now's the time to start planning for spring and summer 2026 bookings. Give Keln Solar a call and they'll come show you your best options. Keln Solar. They move the power so you don't have to. KelnSolar.com.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Holiday season is here, and let's be honest, who wants to cook? Skip the stress. Grab takeout from Western Pizza and keep everyone happy without lifting a finger. And here's a tip. Western Pizza gift cards make the perfect stocking stuffer or last-minute gift. Warm, cheesy, loaded with toppings. It's the gift everyone actually wants. Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today, before your stomach sends out a holiday memo.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
All right, quick one because we got hockey in the area tonight. Pat Canadians are home to the Warman Wildcats, 7:30 at C6. Western Hockey League down the road in Swift Current. The Broncos are back and they're hosting the Kelowna Rockets, 7 p.m. start there. SJHL, Weyburn is in Nipawin. The Canada West at the World Junior A Challenge. They take on the USA tonight, looking for their first win. Trevor Blevins' crew. Prairie Junior Hockey League, Pilot Butte is in Martinsville. National Hockey League, one Canadian team in action. It is the Calgary Flames taking on Detroit, 7:30. Sportscage.com poll. How do you grade the 2026 Saskatchewan Roughriders schedule? You can vote at Sportscage.com. Pat Canadians game is canceled or postponed. Just got a text message in. Thanks for that. All right. It's for Extreme Hockey and Sport. Get in and check out the deals at Extreme Hockey and Sport. The 12 days Christmas giveaways are starting, coming up until the 24th. Gift cards, mystery minis, Yeti packages, custom Bauer sticks, TS hockey packs, so much more given away, and the deals are flying out the door. Home of the price match guarantee, Extreme Hockey and Sport. Hour 3's coming up. Eric Francis will be in. It's a Sports Cage on CKRM.
Canada's Conservatives have put forward a bill that will unlock our nation's true potential by rewarding those who build and invest in Canada. The Canadian Sovereignty Act introduces measures such as the Canada First Reinvestment Tax Cut to eliminate capital gains tax on reinvestments in Canada, ensuring that money stays here and builds our great economy. My name is Warren Steinley, your Conservative Member of Parliament for Regina Luban, and I will always be on Saskatchewan's side.
Paid ad by Warren Steinley.
Cowabunga, dudes! You won't believe what's popping at Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Yeah, they've got radical top-of-the-line cell phones. Even April O'Neil ditched her news van for one of these babies.
Plus, SaskTel internet's so fast, even Shredder couldn't slow it down. Perfect for streaming, gaming, or ordering extra-large pizza.
So shell out to Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, dudes.
Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, in Moosomin today. Totally tubular.
Back to our regular spot, Pump Jacks Cathedral.
You know, I thought Pump Jacks was a kind of boot polish till last month.
Well, what are you getting?
Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful.
You had me at meaty.
Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage.
And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
We are 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Streaming online at 620CKRM.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. The Saskatchewan NDP is urging Premier Scott Moe's government to repay Regina $6.78 million after the city was pushed into a bidding war to keep Costco, a move the NDP says helped drive a major tax hike. The Sask Party tried moving the project from Westera to the global transportation hub, forcing Regina to offer incentives, they said. NDP members Trent Weatherspoon, Hugh Gordon and Erica Ritchie launched a petition and say poor provincial decisions are raising costs for families. A 2-month police investigation has resulted in charges against 6 people after Regina officers found more than $260,000 in stolen property at 2 abandoned farmyards west of the city. Police located stolen trailers, snowmobiles, an ATV, a skid steer, and other items linked to thefts in Regina and surrounding areas. Officers say the group also trafficked stolen electronics, groceries, and tools. Multiple search warrants and weeks of follow-up work led to the charges. Regina transit workers have voted 83% in favor of a strike mandate, saying wages are not keeping up with costs and warning that the city's proposed budget cuts threaten jobs and transit service. The Amalgamated Transit Union Local 588 did not respond to calls, but President Sukhwinder Gayinda posted a statement saying the vote sends a message that job security matters. City planning shows 16 possible transit cuts that could remove routes and lay off 49 full-time employees. The Bank of Canada left its key interest rate unchanged as inflation remains near its 2% target. Governor Tiff Macklem says while price growth has slowed from a year ago, it's clear Canadians are still feeling squeezed by the high cost of living.
It underscores the importance of keeping inflation low so that incomes can catch up. The other thing I would stress is that we're not going to lower prices overall.
Macklem says lower prices sound good in theory, but would actually signal a severe recession. Instead, the central bank wants to keep inflation steady to offer some stability at a time of uncertainty. And a new poll finds half of Canadians support building a pipeline from Alberta to BC.
The Leger poll suggests support is strongest in Alberta among men, older Canadians, and Conservative voters. 2/3 of Albertans and about half of Ontarians and BC residents back the project, while support is lowest in Quebec at 37%. Among political lines, 71% of Conservatives, 54% of Liberals, and 23% of NDP voters support the pipeline. Now the poll comes as Prime Minister Mark Carney signed a memorandum of understanding last month with the Alberta government that sets out an agreement to work toward the approval of a pipeline project. David Augustine, The Canadian Press.
That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Phil Spivak is in with your weather next.
This holiday season, in the red corner, weighing in at jolly and unstoppable, it's Santa Claus.
Santa's laying the smackdown on slow internet and bad cell coverage. Because at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, the deals are off the ropes. Get the latest cell phone, SaskTel MaxStream, and lightning fast internet that'll make your holidays legendary. So tag in the pros at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle. EchoSound.ca.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street. Croft Electric, 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all electrical needs. CroftElectric.com and on all socials.
Occasional snowfall through the night could produce a couple of centimeters of accumulation, as much as 2 to 4, but 4 more the exception. We'll likely see a lot more blowing than accumulating. The wind does die down, though, as the night goes on. The temperature climbs up, cracking -10, then falling back later nighttime into the day on Thursday, continuing to fall down to -15. As light snow and flurries continue, not much accumulation through the day, but plenty of blowing with winds gusting over 40 kilometers per hour. We tumble Thursday night down to -26, and the wind is still pretty strong as we get down there. Wind chill close to -40 through Thursday night. Dangerous cold into Friday morning. A partly sunny day on Friday, only -23 for the high, but the wind does die down through the afternoon. Partly sunny, -20 on Saturday, and then the cold air exits. We make a nice climb on Sunday after a couple of early flurries. Partly sunny with a high at -4. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Dan from Croft Electric explains the importance of reliable electricity on your farm.
Whether they bleed green combines or red combines, they buy those combines for reliability, right? So why wouldn't you want to have the same thing with your electrical system? You want something reliable when you need it and working when you need it.
For reliable, professional electrical work for your farm, see Croft Electric.
Do it right, do it once.
CroftElectric.com.
For 40 years, the team from Line X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products. RMP Winter Tire Offer is on now. Purchase a set of 4 eligible winter tires before December 31st and receive up to $120 in instant rebates. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
One more hour of the show. If you missed any of it so far, you can always go back and listen to it in podcast form or watch it on our YouTube podcast. Colson gets all that buttoned up. Thanks for making time here today. Like I said, 1 hour left. We're giving away 2 tickets to the Harlem Globetrotters. Tuesday, January 6th at the Brandt Center. It's the 100-year tour. We're asking people to text in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. What's the theme song of the Harlem Globetrotters? Wrong answers only. We know what it is. We want wrong answers. Like Kurt that said, Beck, loser. We had, like I said, Dan had still haven't found what I'm looking for. One More Time from Ray. That's a George Michael tune. Every Breath You Take from The Police, says Shelley. Take On Me. That's a great tune, by the way. By Aha. That's what Phil thought. So, yeah, wrong answers only if you want to go to the Globetrotters on the 6th. Western Pizza guest hotline. Humming along here as Western Pizza is your stop. If you got that gift exchange, stocking stuffer, get a gift card. And then the potlucks, pick up something from Western Pizza. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline and talk to Eric Francis.
Now for Inside the NHL with Eric Francis on the Sportscage. Inside the NHL is brought to you by Sports Select. Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer.
A lot of people are texting in the right answer of the song. We want wrong answers of the Harlem Globetrotters theme song. You ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters, Eric?
Yeah, I saw them as a kid at Maple Leaf Gardens many, many years ago when they were in their day, their prime. There was a mystique around them, a magical, you know, the confetti in the water bucket trick. I mean, genius. How do you come up with that? It's genius. Only those guys could do that. Yeah, I've seen them. I love them. Absolutely.
Get this from Google. Google says their approximate record: 27,000 wins, 345 losses. I wouldn't have thought they would have had that many losses.
No way. Wow. Well, we all remember some of those lean years where they're, you know, when Curly retired and they really had a tough time with their transition game, and some of the tricks just weren't tricking, you know, like they.
Trixie got suspended.
There was that incident, yeah, of course. There are so many different things happened, and Meadowlark Lemon, he just lost his touch there. He went cold for about 4 years, and it was really tough on their record for sure.
That's why you got to put in the work. Like, you have to put in the work, even if you're the Harlem Globetrotters. If you're doing Flames hockey tonight, can you maybe give some love to the Sportscage and the Harlem Globetrotters record? See if anyone can guess that. But the Flames are in action, and like, all joking aside here, Flames are on a heater.
Yeah, and nobody in Calgary's happy about it. It's funny. It's you know, I wrote a whole column on the fact they're 3 points out right now. They're closer to a playoff spot than they are last place. That's the first time this year they've been closer to playoffs than last place. And, you know, people in this city are already starting to bemoan the fact that they're on that road again to the mushy middle. I mean, nobody travels that road more than the Calgary Flames, and that's clearly where they're going to end up, right in the mushy middle, just outside the playoffs. They're 3 points out of a playoff spot, but I have to clarify. They've played way more games than everybody else, and there's 6 teams between them and that final playoff spot. That's how it's pretty close. Like, look, I know there's still 50 games to go, but there's a tremendous amount of parity in the league, and you got to say something for that. That's pretty cool.
People in the YouTube chat are absolutely loving Eric Francis. Must watch twice a week. Eric Francis. Love Eric Francis. Francis. I was listening to your co-workers on the Fan this morning because it came out the most punchable face in the NHL. Yeah. And is it Cousins? Nick Cousins?
Yeah.
And then they're like asking people who's got the most punchable face, and I was surprised how many people said Eric Francis. I felt angry. Like, I wanted to drive to Calgary and just go shoulder to shoulder with you, make sure you're okay.
Well, I take these things pretty hard. I put a lot of stock in what people say in texts and online. I read every single comment, and I take every single one of the heart. And a lot of them are very constructive, and they're very helpful.
Thought
and they
out.
try to make me a better person. And I thank everyone for taking the time to do that, because there's no chance I've ever read any of their comments. I can tell you that right now. Maybe that's why everyone wants to punch me, because I've never read or responded to a comment in my life.
It's just all the Vancouver people. Speaking of that, I know some Vancouver Canuck fans, and they are just in shambles. Like, I know you don't want to slag on that organization because of the hate mail and everything, but and there's no way out of this. Like, there's no real light at the end of this tunnel. At least if you're an Oiler fan, you have the best player in the world and another guy who's pretty good. But for the Canucks, it's like,
you know what makes it worse? And look, I don't think there's anything that Canucks management can do about it, but like, they've remained silent through all this, right? Which I think you have to do. You got to go into lockdown mode and basically weather the storm and act the way you're going to act if you're going to make trades or whatever. But there are a million. Someone came up to me playing hockey this morning, and they're like, "Hey, I can't believe they're going to trade Quinn Hughes and grab all they wanted are players that are going to help them win now, as opposed to kind of reloading." And I'm like, "Well, where'd you hear that?" And they said, "Well, that's what I heard." So again, the magic of social media and all the ridiculousness of it all. Everybody's got a different take on what they should do, but more to the point, everyone's got a different take on what they've heard they're going to do, and that doesn't help their situation. That just turns it into more of a storm. That's for sure.
What about Edmonton? Like, Evan Bouchard's getting he's the whipping boy of the week.
Yeah. Well, they love their whipping boys in Edmonton. They've had all sorts of guys over the years that just take a beating. Bouchard's been for the last couple of years now. Skinner's an all-timer. He's on the list all the time. But yeah, Bouchard really, with every giveaway, it just gets worse. And he really is. Look, he's way more talented than a lot of people outside the market want to give him credit for. Some of his point totals and records in the playoffs are like hard to fathom, but he is a liability as a player, generally speaking. He's way too high risk, too high reward to me to be even considered for the Olympics. Where one, right? Like, thank you. Like, where one goal could be the difference in the whole tournament. You could have a guy out there where every shift he goes out there, you're going, please, 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 don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. That doesn't belong at the Olympics, in my opinion.
We've played with those guys. You probably played with a guy like that today. We've been that guy on the ice that people are like, please don't, please don't, please don't. I call it, I'm a liability. Don't put me out there. I'm a liability. We're trying to hold a lead. What are you doing? That's just crazy talk. Detroit's in town tonight, and I think you got a chance to see them live already this year. Didn't you go on a swing through Detroit? I might be wrong, but what are you interested to see from Detroit? Because they're a pretty sneaky good hockey team. In their last 10, they've kind of cooled here, but they've won 2 in a row.
Yeah, I love the way you say it, sneaky good. Like, this is a team that it seems to me this year's that year they finally break through and make that playoffs. Like, I know we've said that for 8 years in a row, but I do feel like they're the team that's going to emerge out of that 3 between Ottawa, Detroit, and Buffalo. Every year they always say, one of them's due. It won't be Buffalo, I can tell you that. We just saw them on Monday night. That is for sure. And Ottawa's a better team, I think their record shows. But look, Dylan Larkin is one of the quiet, underrated, really solid leaders in the league, today. And nobody talks about him because the team's completely irrelevant for the last handful of years. But him and DeBrincat and Kane, and they've got a lot of firepower, and they've got a lot of good, young, solid defensemen too. And this year their goaltending's been pretty solid between the two of them. So, they're on the up and up. They're not a threat to anybody in the playoffs, but I like the way they're heading.
I want to play this clip because I woke up yesterday morning and I was having my coffee and prepping my show yesterday, and I saw this and I was like, again, you better not be talking about my Eric like that. I was getting angry, but actually, so many Buffalo fans sided with you. Here's what you had to say on TV the other day.
You guys have been the poster boy for why you can't tear something down. That debate's been going on in this city for the last, couple of years now, and the point is always towards the Buffalo Sabres. You want to tear something down to the studs? Be careful, because you could end up being the Buffalo Sabres, and for 20 years, you're the worst team in hockey or thereabouts. So that's part of the ongoing argument, and we're seeing it firsthand tonight. This team's give a crap meter is almost shut off. They've got some talent. They've got some good pieces. So even though you go out and win a draft pick, like Tage Thompson is a great player, but without the team effort and the culture that's getting built, it means nothing.
Yeah, Dahlin and Thompson both scoring here, and we'll see what happens in the third period, because we still have a third to go and they're down 2.
That's professionalism. That's the work you do right there. But Buffalo fans were agreeing with you.
Is that right? I hadn't seen a reaction. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. So, no, I'm dead serious. I didn't know, like,
they were.
Usually fans get pretty defensive, but I would get it if Buffalo fans, they've been in the deep woods for a long, long time. And look, it's a management issue, I think, in that city. They just can't seem to get the right management team together to make a difference. And look, Tage Thompson's getting completely wasted there. That guy's a top 20 player in the National Hockey League, completely on an island by himself there. Interesting to hear that they sided with me. So you're saying that when I go for wings next time I'm in Buffalo, this punchable face might not get caved in?
Yeah, and Buffalo's not a trip that I would spend my hard-earned money to join you on. We're going to save that for Florida. So you're on your own. You're on your own for that one. Be careful.
There's a group of guys in Calgary that go every year on a boys' trip. There's like 12 of them. They're all dentists. They're good dudes. And I hook up with them in almost every city when they go. And the first time I met them was in Buffalo. We were doing a Buffalo-Detroit run. And I said, guys, like, I'm all for boys' trips, but that's the worst boys' trip I've ever heard in my life. Detroit, Buffalo. And then they explained to me that they're trying to get to every city in the league. And if that's the case, then yeah, obviously a lot of years you're going to have to take a bullet and go to places like that. But actually that rink in Detroit is it's the best in the league. It's the best in the league. So that part's worth it, and the surrounding area is actually cleaned up a lot. It's pretty cool. But I can't sit here and say something nice about Buffalo. Sorry.
Dr. Tim Watley and his dentist buddies doing some boys trips. Let's talk a little World Juniors. Zane Parekh. I talked to Al Miller, general manager of the World Junior team, yesterday on the show, and I just said, there's those guys like Zane who a lot of people thought should have made it last year, didn't, and now he's got that fire. Along with the guys that got embarrassed last year that are coming back, and he agreed. What are you expecting from Zane? Have you talked to him about it at all?
Yeah, I spoke to him about it. Obviously, in his words, he wants to basically kickstart his season. Like, he hasn't really started his season. The experiment with the Flames did not work. He, 1 point in 11 games, I think he had, something like that. It's just defensively, he really struggled. Offensively, he wasn't able to make his mark. He's just looking for a clean slate. He's hoping that this is going to give him his mojo back. I'm a little worried about him because he hasn't really played meaningful hockey in a while. He's been injured for the last month, basically, with an upper body injury. He's been cleared 100% on that. He skated today without his non-contact jersey. But, just jumping into the fray, like, it's not like you're going back to play game 45 in Saginaw. You're going into the Christmas tournament where all the best of the best at his age are going to be playing, and they're all going to be playing the hardest, fastest, best hockey of their lives. And so for him to jump in midstream, like, I'm really interested to see how he handles it, because he hasn't been able to handle it at the NHL level. And I know it's a drop down, but I'm just not. It's just not a walk in the park to just go, well, I've been in the NHL, I'm going to go back to junior and dominate. I don't think it's that easy, and I hope it is for him, but I caution people that it's probably not going to be that easy. Same with Misa.
Yeah, gonna be an interesting watch. And then obviously a lot of people are like the players they left off and the ones that still could get added. Obviously, it's Sasky here. A lot of us are hoping that Berkeley Catton figures out his injury and then Seattle lets him go. But we'll wait and see. This, and not that we're going to get into NFL and football talk, but Philip Rivers, at the age of 44, is on the practice roster. He might actually play NFL football. Now, it's not a big deal of, his age. It's that 5 years away from one of the most physical, fast, and demanding sports on the planet, the NFL. And then I started looking at hockey players, and it's hard to decipher guys that went away. Lots of guys, Guy Lafleur, when he came back. A lot of guys have played when they're older. Chelios, Yager, obviously, Chara. But to leave a game and come back, have you anything come to mind there? Is it Guy Lafleur?
Yeah, Lafleur's probably the best hockey example, and he wasn't that good when he came back. I mean, Father Time had caught up with him, and he wasn't on a great team, and that wasn't great. But everyone in hockey is excited about it. Now, don't forget, Mario Lemieux left the game to battle cancer and all these other injuries over the years. It seemed like he'd go a year and a half away and then come back. That didn't affect him at all. He was still one of the greatest players of all time, no matter what.
So good.
But you and I spoke just the other day about Carter Hart. Like, he's been out of hockey for 2 years, and I didn't think that it would be just as easy for him to jump right back in as he has. I think all 3 of his appearances have gone into extra time. He's 2-0-1. He's played really, really admirably for a guy who's missed 2 years. So, now again, goaltending is different than a forward or a defenseman, but I don't know. It's the Philip Rivers experiment. Hands up all those who think it's going to be a success. Come on. Ridiculous.
I equated it to watching Mike Tyson fight last year. And it's like, yeah, you want to see it, and Coulson rolled his eyes. I said, or when they dropped the bunny in the cage with the python, like, you're going to watch it, but it's like, how's this all going to go down? Yeah, it'll be interesting. Are you going to the Dome tonight then?
Head to the Dome tonight. I'm actually going to head there pretty soon here.
Here's what I wanted to bring up. Don Hewitt was with me yesterday, and he's another guy. He's like, I love talking to that Eric. Man, I wish I was here. And he said his son went to a game. Who was the last game? Was it Minnesota? No, Buffalo.
No,
Buffalo. He got in to the barn last minute for $8.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. They're having trouble right now. People are frustrated. There's no doubt about it. You can get into the Dome right now for dirt cheap, especially if you're willing to wait till the last minute. But even several days ahead, you can get in $40-$50 anytime you want now. Look, I don't think Calgary's the only team like that right now. I've heard similar stories in Toronto now. Different price bracket, like they're not getting it for $8 or $20 or $40. But I don't know if these are the dog days too. It's before Christmas. A lot of people are doing their shopping and partying, whatever it is. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I can tell you that it's a tough ticket right now in trying to get rid of it. Good luck trying to get rid of your season tickets if you can't go.
$8. You can't even get into the Circle K coming up in a bit to watch Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh for that. That baffled me. All right. Get to talk again on Friday. We got Last Mountain Distillery in again on Friday, so I might have a few tip me backs. If you know what
adult bevies.
Yeah, and just another note, if you're on the TV today, Ant Atkinson, leading point getter for the Globetrotters all time. Meadowlark Lemon played 16,000 games for the Globetrotters, and Mushy Middle retired early.
Wow. Well, on Friday we'll go through the whole roster. Okay, I have a whole bunch of notes I'd like to share with you. It's a great story about how they kind of came apart and lost 300 and something games. That's amazing to me, and that's another example of how the internet's not always 100% accurate. Because I thought that they had under 200 losses. I was sure of it.
My Google
you say over 300.
My Google's been off though. So yeah, check what they got in Berta for Google. Mine might be a little wonky here. All right, buddy. Have fun tonight. We'll talk to you Friday.
See you, bud. Cheers.
Yeah, that's our NHL insider, Eric Francis. It's for Sports Select. Simply make your picks online now. Generate your QR code. Lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Every bet is 100% legal, must be 18 plus, and play responsibly. Hey, we're going to come back with Sprinkle of the Day for Sports Select here on the Sports Cage.
Dan from Croft Electric explains how important farms are to his business.
Yeah, we would consider it a privilege to come out to your farm and do work for you, give you a quote, give you a free safety check of whether it be your barn, your shop, your grain operation, your home, and then follow up with a quote. We would consider it a privilege to be able to come out to your farm.
Croft Electric.
We believe we'd be the right choice for you.
CroftElectric.com.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
I think there are a lot of games being postponed again because of the roads, so fire away if you got anything you want us to mention. Pat Canadians Warman game postponed at the Sixer tonight. We do know there will be NHL hockey in Calgary. The Flames are home to the Detroit Red Wings. We think the Swift Current games go on. The Broncos are home to the Kelowna Rockets. And Canada West at the World Junior A Challenge, who take on the USA tonight, looking for their first win there. It's brought to you by Regina Steelcraft Doors, built in Western Canada for Western Canada. Regina Steelcraft Doors. You need a garage door, they got it for you. Quickly, Colson, I know Sprinkle of the Day, but I want to get to the Prairieland Rentals text line. Wonderful day in the neighborhood. Mark saying theme song for the Globetrotters. Wrong answers only we wanted. Don't Let Me Down by ELO, says Murray. It's Uptown Funk, says Tony. Dave says another one, Bites the Dust. A little Queen. There's a few more here I'll try and get to in a bit. Thanks to everyone for playing along. Giving away 2 tickets to the Harlem Globetrotters, January 6th at the Brandt Center. 100-year tour. Sprinkle of the Day. I'm 0 for 9 in my last bets. Go ahead and laugh. I don't care. I'm still trying. I'm still out there working hard. And tonight, I will sprinkle down sportselect.com, and you can play it on its own because it has the S beside it, so that means single game. Detroit at Calgary, both 220. Calgary's a minus a 0.5 dog. Should we just go with the tie? So we've lost 9 in a row. If we lose 10 and we regroup tomorrow, who cares? I'm picking the tie. This game's going into overtime in a shootout. 370 it pays. If you want to hit the over-under, it's sitting at 6. You don't have to. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from your computer, phone preferably. Then you take it to the Lotto Spot retailer. They scan the QR code, and there you go nowadays. That's how it's done with Sports Select. If you don't want to fill out the ticket, don't forget about the futures. You can get futures on anything from soccer to hockey to baseball to cricket. It's all on there. Sportselect.com. Must be 18 plus to play, and play responsibly. If you missed it, you got one.
I was just going to say.
You laugh at me? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, haven't all of your misses been ties that you've picked?
Yeah, I'm doubling down, tripling down.
Just checking.
Quadding down. Just keep rolling.
And yesterday we had yesterday's news with your Google being wrong about
John Lennon.
Yeah. I found another one today for yesterday's news. Yesterday, 60 years ago, the debut of Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Yes.
Fitting time of year.
Yes, I don't think I've ever. I probably saw it as a kid, but yeah, I don't remember that. All right. If you missed it in hour 1, we had him back on the show. It's always fun to talk to our man, Luke Mullinder. We'll go back out, play that again for you coming up on the Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
That last-minute holiday gift exchange is coming up. And while you could hand out a card from a human fund, a Western Pizza gift card is actually real and way better. Give the gift of juicy pizza, real cheese, piles of toppings, and all your Greek favorites. So get ready for the feats of strength this season and win Christmas with a Western Pizza gift card. Western Pizza gift cards, saving holiday gift exchanges since 1976.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show.